Hello everybody, welcome to Wizardry 1 Remake, of course. I've played this game a lot in my life. I've never played the remake. It just came out this year. It looks extremely good. I'm very excited to play it. We're going to be doing chat submitted characters today. So first things first, if you already submitted a character on the YouTube community post, or if you've already submitted a character on the Reddit thread, don't be afraid to submit somebody in chat right now, because I'm going to be taking characters from chat before I go look at the community post. So if you generate a character right now in chat, it's very likely that you will immediately get added to the party. Hey Big Boss Gaming, thanks for stopping by today. Hey A Red Mongoose, thank you for being here. You want to be Pizza the Gnome? That is absolutely wonderful and doable. Hey Chris and Faye, thank you for being here early. I see Faye wanted to submit her Gnome Priest as well that she submitted yesterday. I do remember that character already. By the way, I'm really hyped about the fact that there were 6 people waiting before the stream started. Honestly, I was kind of afraid that nobody would show up for today's stream. So I'm pretty excited about the fact that there were 6 people waiting before the stream even started. So first of all, we're going to go into the tavern. What's the difference between in the tavern? Tavern is manage the party. Okay, yeah. We're going to go into the tavern and we're going to check out... No, we're going to go to the training grounds, sorry, and we're going to inspect the roster. I have created one character. This is him. His name is Backseat Greg. He has absolutely no experience exploring any dungeons for real, but for some reason he feels incredibly qualified to give advice to all of the other adventurers. Hopefully we won't need to add him to the party if we get enough useful characters. So we're going to start right away with Silvara the Gnome. We are doing random rolls for our stats. I'm going to roll each character one time. So what you see on the screen right now, that doesn't count. So right now we're creating Silvara the Gnome Priest, so we're going to start creating her right now. So I'm going to roll one time. She has 10 stat points. So first of all, to become a priest, you need 11 piety. After that, a lot of your stats are not really super important. So one of the weird things about this game is that all of the stats from 7 to 15 are basically the same. So the average stat bracket is extremely wide. Because we don't have a lot of fighters, I'm thinking of pushing vitality to 15 so that Silvara can maybe get a little bit of HP. Although, actually, now that I think about it, I remember that Faye wanted to do multi-class. So let me do this. This increases our chances that Faye will get enough strength to multi-class into fighter later on. So we're going to do this. She has just enough piety to be a priest. She has enough vitality that she can hopefully get a little bit of HP, and then enough strength that she can hopefully reclass into fighter. We're going to do priest because that's the only class we have access to. We are doing an evil party. I didn't specify anything about alignments, but out of the characters who were submitted, people basically only submitted neutral and evil characters, so we're just going to go ahead and do an evil party. And then for Silvara the Gnome, I'm going to do the portraits just in order. So whatever order you get picked in, that's kind of what portrait you get. So we'll do this. This is the first female gnome portrait, so we're going to give that to Silvara. This is going to save me time on just like, cycling through portraits. So typically when I played the game in the past, like in older versions of the game, there were no character portraits. Every character was just like a block of text. How does the character maker work for chat? So all you need to do, Marceos, is... in fact, let me bring this up. I forgot about this. I got a nice little thing right here. There you go. Now let me tab back over to the game. In fact, I'll go ahead and make chat visible as well. Should be visible in a few seconds. Should come up. Okay. So... creating characters. So all you need to do, the bare minimum you need to do is just tell me what race you want to be and which class you want to be. We need a lot of fighters. We did not get a lot of fighters, so if you want to be a fighter, let me know right now, because I will probably add you to the party right away. Okay, after Silvara, we have Pizza the Gnome by Red Mongoose, so we're going to have another gnome. This one I'm probably going to make into a fighter because Mongoose did not specify, and like I said, I want fighters. So we're going to make Pizza the Gnome. I'm going to re-roll now. So Pizza has 9 stat points. So we need 11 strength to be a fighter. Because we're playing as a fighter, I probably want to just put strength to 16. So Pizza gets +1 hit and +1 damage. And then we'll just leave the other stats at base. We're going to do neutral for a lot of our characters. And then this is the first male gnome portrait, so we're going to go ahead and give this to pizza. And this is our pizza. Okay, we got one more character. Let's see. Is this a Dungeons & Dragons game? So it's very heavily inspired by Dungeons & Dragons. This is one of the first party-based dungeon crawlers ever created. It was made after Donkey Kong, but before any other game featuring Mario. The game came out in 1981, and this remake was built completely on top of the original code for the original game on the Apple II computer. It even predates Windows for the PC gamers out there. I believe there's also an option to display the original map and the original graphics once we get into the dungeon, so I'm probably going to show those off. The bonus stat thresholds are a little different from Dungeons & Dragons, because in D&D, you typically get bonuses at like 12, 14, and 16, but in this game, the average stats are very wide. 7 to 15 are all average, and you have to be like below 7 or above 15 to actually get a bonus from your stats. Big Boss wants to be a dwarf fighter. That is a good idea. Let's do that. Okay, we're going to do Big Boss. I'm going to roll now. You have 8 stat points. We're going to give you probably 16 strength, and then we'll just give you 2 agility. Because if your agility is too low, you end up acting very late in the turn order. So we're going to try to get you into the average agility bracket, which is 7. And then your vitality and other stats will just level up as you gain levels. So you should be pretty okay. We're going to make another neutral fighter. We're going to go to the dwarf. Where's our dwarf portraits? Okay, so this is going to be Big Boss, our first dwarf. Big Boss. All right. Scar the Psycho. I will get to Scar in a second. I'm going to make the other characters first, and then we'll come back and we'll make Scar maybe like whatever last character we need. So Chris also wants to be a fighter, so we're going to do another fighter. Chris, do you have a race in mind? Mongoose, you already had an evil human fighter named Andrew. Oh, sorry. Okay, well, if this character dies, I'll go ahead and make that one, because I'm going to be looking at the Reddit thread and the community post later. Let's see. Yeah, we're doing chat entries before we look at the other ones. Go Big Boss, yippee, very original, D&D was a different company, Red Mongoose. Okay, so did we make Chris already? No, we did not make Chris yet. Chris, let me know if you have a specific race that you want to be. Same for Marseos. If you want to be a specific race, let me know. Chris wants to be a dwarf as well. Okay. We rolled 19 attribute points for Chris, so I'm actually just going to keep that. I'm not gonna re-roll that. So Chris, we will, first of all, I'm going to give you 17 strength, not 18. The reason is because your stats are very likely to increase when you level up. Every time you gain a level, your stats are like 69% likely to increase. They're like 5% likely to decrease, and then like 25% likely to do nothing. So if we start you with 17 strength, it will probably increase to 18 when you level up. We're also going to give you a little bit of agility, and then we'll probably give you vitality so that you have a lot of extra HP. We'll do 17 vitality, and then I'm going to do luck as well, because luck factors into your saving throws, which are, it's a good, like luck is a good defensive stat. So we want it close to 12. The luck benchmarks are 6, 12, and 18. So after a couple of levels, Chris will probably have 12 luck, which will be good for their defense. And then I don't know if Chris wants to be male or female, but this dwarf actually can't tell if they're male or female anyway, so we'll just say this is Chris. Was it advanced or second edition that wizards took over? I'm not sure about that. What's the difference between a mage and a wizard? So a mage is like an offensive caster. They can deal damage. They can put enemies to sleep. Wizards learn all of the spells of mages and priests, and they have the ability to identify items that we find in the dungeon. They're kind of like reliquaries, if you know what I'm talking about there. Second was out, third was out. Okay. You got in later than most of the chat, but hello. Hey, Reg. Let me know if you have a character that you want to submit, Reg. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 characters so far, including Backseat Greg. We probably don't want to put Backseat Greg in the party. So, yeah. So if Reg or Marseos has a character they want to submit, I know Marseos wanted to do Scar, but you didn't specify what race or class you want it to be, so I have no information to go on. And then also Reg, if you give me some information, Scar, you want Scar to be a human mage? Okay, that works. So I'm going to roll his stats. He has 7 stat points. Pretty bad stat, but humans have decent IQ at base, so you'll be fine. Honestly, because your stats are pretty low, let's just go with agility. This gives us the potential to reclass him into a thief later on. We're going to start him as a mage. We're going to make him evil. because he's Scar. And where's our human portrait? So you're going to be this guy who looks a little bit like Jason Statham. There's our nope. There's our wonderful little Scar, and then Reg wants to be a Hobbit wizard. You want to kick out Greg and replace him with Reg. All right, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna roll. You got 8 stat points. For a wizard, you're gonna need 11 intellect at minimum. I'm actually gonna put your intellect pretty high because your other base stats that you need are already kind of high anyway, and this will help Reg learn spells faster. If he learns enough spells, we can potentially reclass him later on. So we're going to go to Hobbit, and we have not used any of the Hobbit portraits yet, so we're just going to go ahead and use the first one. So this is going to be Reg. Yeah, Greg is our 0 experienced backseater. Low stat, sounds like Scar. All right, it looks like everybody in chat has submitted a character, and we actually have like just enough to make a starting party. So we're gonna make a starting party. We have Chris, our dwarf fighter. We have Big Boss, our dwarf fighter. Unfortunately, we only have 2 fighters, so we're gonna put a priest in the front line. Silvara is gonna be in the front line. Oh no, sorry, we did get 3 fighters. Hold on a second. We have Pizza is gonna be our other frontline fighter. Then we have a priest and 2 mages. We do not have any thieves. That's gonna be a problem. If we find any chests, we're not going to be able to open them up, but that's okay. We're just going to do like a quick dungeon dive, and then once I do this, I'll come back to town again and try to sort things out again. Before that, we will go to the store. I'm going to buy some items for everybody who can afford something. So let's see. Longsword. I wonder what's the difference. Oh, never mind. That's a short sword. There should be a way to sort the gear. Let's see. Yes, okay, weapons. Armor. Okay, so Chris has... I'm not exactly sure if my gold is shared or not. We're going to find out very soon. I'm going to buy a breastplate for Chris. Equip it right away. And then I'm going to switch to Big Boss. It looks like our gold is shared. Okay, I have to be very careful about that. I didn't realize that was the case. So in the original game, every character had their own individual amount of gold, but that's okay. So let's sell the chainmail that Chris just removed, and we'll go into the dungeon right now without buying anything else. We are entering the maze right now. You could potentially reclass into a thief later on. Yeah, mage into thief is a really good reclass. Proving grounds of the mad overlord. You have taken your first step into the fabled maze. It was only a short time ago that Overlord Trebor sent out the call, beckoning the country's adventurers to come to this place. The story, as it was told, was that his one-time friend and advisor, the wizard Weirdna, had stolen the Overlord's prized amulet and escaped with it into the mysterious maze, a dungeon built of magic, chaos, and death. The Overlord promises power and the rank of honor guard to any adventurer who recovers his amulet. And so you came. And somewhere deep within this maze's Stygian halls, the powerful wizard Weirdna awaits. So here's the view. If you look in the bottom right corner, you can kind of see, in fact, hold on a second, let me remove the overlays. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of this. We're going to tab back over to the game. So if you look in the bottom right corner, you can see what the original graphics of the game looked like. It was basically just like a text-based thing. And there's like this little thing, there's like a little box. I'm wondering if there's a way to make it, where it shows the original window at full size. I'm not sure. I know it's not in here because I already looked in here. These are more for like gameplay stuff. All right, well, I'll try to figure it out later. If not, it's not a huge deal. So we basically have 2 different directions to go. We do not have a map. I turned off, in newer versions of the game, they have like a map that automatically updates for you. Older versions of the game did not have this map, so I'm not going to be using it. Hey, Yeti Man, you want to be a thief? All right, I will add you as soon as we get back to the to town. Ryan Lewis, welcome to the dance party. Yeah, the original graphics are really nostalgic. He took it from me, and now he hides. Find him and find the amulet. Silvara, is that the Overlord? How are we hearing him? Reg, his stolen amulet is connected to this place. I can only assume his long possession of it has connected him to this place as well. So this is the dungeon. We have our nice little torch. We have some good graphics, some wall graphics. You can see when I'm turning, if you look in the bottom right corner, you can see like this is a flat wall, and then here this is like a corridor. That's what the old Apple II version looked like. We're going to try to find a door. Another split passage. I'm going to have to remember where I'm going. I don't know if any of my characters have Doom Epic. Let me check. Y is camp. So I'm going to check if Reg has Doom Epic. I'm still getting used to the new controls, so you're going to have to give me a second on that. Switch tab. Here we go. Spells. Reg has Halito, which deals damage, and Catino, which puts enemies to sleep. Scar has Halito and Catino as well. So we don't have any characters with Doom Epic. The only way to view the map of the dungeon is to cast Doom Epic, and because we don't have any characters with that spell, we actually cannot create a map. Ooh, we also got ambushed by monsters, wandering monsters. There are 3 small humanoids. I did turn on one of the new systems where you can investigate monsters. Oh, the monsters surprised us, but it looks like they're just running away. So the monsters ran up, they attacked us, and then they mostly ran away. If you look in the bottom right, you can see the graphic for the old orc. Alright, so Chris, Big Boss, Pizza are just going to attack. So here's the system for inspecting enemies. This is like a new thing. This was not in the old game, but I did turn it on because it seems interesting to me. Basically, it just allows you to get information on the enemies that persists between combats. Pizza attacks the orc and kills them. So we won our first battle. Very exciting stuff. Combat summary, 235 experience. Each member received 39. We did not get any treasures. Ooh, skeletons. Press M on the keyboard. Awesome, thank you very much, Mongoose. So this is what the original graphics looked like. You can see them, like the original graphics are much bigger on the screen now. That looks so amazing. Do the old like Apple keys work as well? Can I press F to go forward? Oh my god, it works, guys. It works. You had to press like L and R, so like to rotate your character, and press F to turn forward, things like that. Instead of it, like they didn't have like arrow keys, they didn't have like WASD. You pressed like L to turn left. It was very funny. They heard Scar is gonna eat them. Let's bring the map back down so we can see. So usually when you kick open a door, it usually triggers an encounter. So we're gonna kick open this door, probably get into our first real battle, not a bunch of orcs that are gonna sucker punch us and then immediately run away. No encounter. Okay. I'm gonna explore this room. I'm a little bit scared because the further we go in here, the harder it's gonna be for me to find my way back. Remember, I do not have a map of any kind. I know that the way back is in that direction, so I'm gonna keep moving forward for now. There's another door here. Hello, Passamon. You want to be a human fighter named Passamon. I can do that very well. Yeah, there's no skeletons in the old school graphics. That's true. You probably have seen something like this, if not having seen this game before. It's an extremely old, extremely influential game. So we have Yetiman the Thief and Passamon the Fighter that we're going to add when we get back to town. We triggered our second encounter. There are 5 leather-clad men. And they are... We have no data on them. Oh, they're rogues. 5 rogues. Okay, we identified them right away. The chance to identify enemies is based on a combination of your IQ and your piety. Because we have a couple of characters with high IQ and high piety, that's why we're identifying the enemies. Are these rogues bald? No, they have blonde hair. Excuse me. Reg says, as somebody who never had an Apple II, your brain keeps thinking Shin Megami Tensei when you see the classic style graphics. It just goes to show how deep the influence of the original runs. Yeah, actually, the original graphics do look very similar to SMT1. You're very right about that. Alright, so we're going to start attacking these rogues. Silvara is going to, let's see, parry. I think we might have ambushed them because it's not giving us the option to cast. Whenever you ambush enemies, you don't get the option to cast on the first turn. You only get to attack with your fighters. Big Boss is hitting. Pizza is hitting. And your attacks kind of spread out randomly across the enemies. So it's not really like in Dungeons & Dragons, you typically focus all your attacks on one enemy to kill them quickly. You can't do that in this game. You don't get to choose who to attack. Reg has 2 HP, by the way. I just noticed that Reg has 2 HP. Alright, I'm going to have Reg cast Catino, which translates to bad air. This will put all 5 rogues to sleep, and it will give us a chance to deal high damage to them and to prevent them from attacking our party. By the way, thanks to all the lurkers who are here today. I'm surprised we actually got more than 10 active viewers in the chat. That is incredible. For like an old school dungeon crawler that I was honestly worried that nobody would show up to the stream, I'm very happy about the fact. Chris got hit for 2 damage. You're at 8 HP still. We're totally fine. It looks like, Reg, it looks like your Catino completely failed. You did not put any enemies to sleep. Thank you for that. The rogues are starting to run away. Pizza got hit pretty hard for about half their HP. Big Boss got another kill. Awesome. I'm wondering if there's a kill count in this game, because the older Wizardries kept track of your kills. Silvara, we should be careful. It's possible to trigger a trap on a chest just by inspecting it. Now, we should add a thief to our party. They are trained in finding and disarming traps. That is true. That is true if I was smart. I'm not very smart, so I'm going to have Scar inspect the chest with a 12% chance. He is 16% sure that it is a crossbow bolt. Let's go, Scar. We have a 0% chance to disarm. Let's go, Scar. He's pretty sure he's about 16% sure that it's a crossbow bolt. It actually was a crossbow. It actually was a crossbow, and it killed him. He was actually right. Honestly, if he was wrong, it would have been less funny. The fact that he was right about it... The fact that Scar was right about it being a crossbow and it killed him just makes my day. Oh my god. Silvar, we should visit the Temple of Kant back in town to see if they can resurrect our fallen. No, we're not doing that. We're sending him right to the graveyard. We're doing like Iron Man style here. If somebody survives long enough that we can learn resurrection spells, I will use them on our more valuable characters. However, this early on, when characters die, they're gone. We're not spending money to revive them. What I will do before we go back to town is that I will have Silvara heal our characters using Dios. She has 2 spell slots, so she has a pretty good chance. I'm going to start with Pizza. Okay, good. We full healed Pizza. That's very good. That means we have a pretty good chance of full healing Chris as well. Chris has been healed. Okay. Before we head back to town, I'm going to loot Scar's body. Pizza's going to loot Scar's body. We're going to drag it back to town with us. Scar, R.I.P. Hold on a second. Let me give him a good R.I.P. in the chat. R.I.P. Scar. Nope. 07. Hey, Black Mass. Thank you for stopping by. If you want to create a character, let me know. I'm going back to town to create a few new characters right now. R.I.P. Scar. He was a real one. Rest in pieces. Yeah, the 2 HP is very hype. I'm excited to see if Reg can survive. Alright, we're going to head back to the inn now. The reason I had Silvara heal our characters is because when you go back to the inn, this means that Chris, Big Boss, and Pizza do not need to rest because they're still on full health. Silvara needs to rest in order to recover her spell slots, and Reg needs to rest in order to recover his spell slots. Perfect. Scar is going to get removed from the party. In fact, we're going to remove... who do we want to keep with us? For now, let's keep Pizza for sure, and Chris, and then we'll see about the other characters depending on how many new submissions I have. So I'm gonna make a few new characters now. If you're in chat right now and you want me to make a character, let me know. All I need you to do is tell me your character race, human, elf, dwarf, gnome, or halfling, and your class, fighter, mage, priest, thief, or bishop. It's right there in the pinned comment. I'm going back through now. I'm going to make the characters who were submitted while we were in the dungeon. Yeti Man wants to be a thief. They did not specify a race, so I'm going to make them a human. We're going to roll your stat points now. You have 8 stat points. Okay, to become a thief, you need 11 agility. I want to give them a little bit of luck to help with disarming traps, and agility to help with disarming traps. Unfortunately, thieves kind of need both luck and agility for disarming traps. I'm going to push luck a little bit higher. That improves our chance of disarming as long as we identify the trap. So we're going to go Thief. We will go ahead and make Yeti Man neutral. And we're going to go to the next human portrait that we have not used yet, which is going to be this one. Ooh, this guy looks kind of cool looking. I like his beard. He's got a top knot. Yeti Man is going to be our Thief. Let's see. I know there was one more. Yes, Passamon showed up today, and you want to be a human fighter. We can do that. So I'm going to roll you now. You have 7 stat points. Not very great. Let's go with... Honestly, let's just maximize your strength. This is going to increase the chances of us getting +1 strength on a level up, and then if that happens, Passamon will get +1 hit and +1 damage, which will hopefully be decent. Passamon is going to get this portrait. You got a nice, long, flowing locks of blonde hair. Passamon. So we're definitely going to add Passamon and Yeti Man to the party. Black Mask, you put your character in the community tab post. I'm not looking at the community tab until I get all of the people done in chat. Your character was an elf thief named Valen. Okay. So we're going to do elf. I'm going to roll you now. You have 8 stat points. Good thing about elves is they start with decent agility, so that gives us a lot of wiggle room. I'm thinking of giving you 11 intellect so that you can reclass into mage later on. Unfortunately, the base agility and luck on elves is not great, but we'll work with what we've got. I'm going to go ahead and make you, yes, Thief. We're going to go neutral. We haven't actually made any elves yet, I don't think. So this is going to be our Valen. I don't know if I'll do Valen or Yeti Man into the party first. Marseos, if you want to create a second character, just go ahead and let me know. I will make a second character for you next time we go back to town. So first, I'm going to set up our new party. So we want to add another fighter, another alternate fighter into the party. I'm going to add Passamon because Passamon has not been into the dungeon yet. I'm going to add Reg back into the party just because 2 HP is really funny to me. Silvara is our only priest, so we need her. And then, in fact, hold on a second. I'm going to put Reg in the back so that he doesn't immediately get killed. But, okay, so we have to choose which thief we want to bring with us. Our options are either Valen or Yeti Man. I'm going to go with Yeti Man because he did submit his character first. When we come back to town, we'll pick up Valen if Yeti Man goes down. If Yeti Man gets annihilated by a trap. I'm already having so much fun. To me, this is like the highest form of gaming. I love this game so much. All right, and then, yeah, we'll add Reg back into the party just so that we have a mage with us. I'm going to leave Scar in the graveyard for now. I'll go ahead and clear out the graveyard later, maybe like at the end of today's stream. While we're here, I'm gonna go to the store because I believe somebody looted Scar's corpse, and I think it was pizza. How do you sort items? Here we go. Yeah, so here's the staff and the robes that we looted from Scar's corpse. Nice little benefit there. I'm gonna see if pizza can buy some armor with that. Okay. Not quite enough for a breastplate, so I'm going to save up for a little bit to get that breastplate. I'm going to see about potentially... You know what we can do? We can buy shields for our fighters. I think that's a good idea. No, they have large shields already. They actually have chainmail and large shields by default. Or, yeah, chainmail and large shields by default. Is there a better weapon we can pick up then? Maybe for, yeah, Pizza. I want Pizza to get something because I gave him, like, the flavor of being the one who looted the corpse. So it'd be really awesome if he bought something with that money. Problem is I need to find something that's better than what he's already holding, and he actually starts with pretty good starting gear. Maybe we just go with a helm then to boost his armor class. I think either the helm, yeah, the helm is way cheaper than the gloves. Okay. So we'll give, with the money that you got from selling Scar's items, you got a helmet. You're going to equip it right away, and we are going to head back into the maze. By the way, I don't know if you guys can hear that dryer. That is rumbling at an insane speed and volume. That is unbelievable. Marseos, you want to do Abaddon, the elf priest, when you come back? All right. Let's go down the other passage this time. Ooh, there's a battle axe sitting on the ground. I wish we could pick that up. In Wizardry 3, all of the axes are better than all of the swords. It makes the fighter a very strong class because they can equip axes. And some of the other martial classes can't actually equip axes. All right, we're going to enter our first door. Here it goes. Nice, an encounter. 4 small humanoids. They look like kobolds to me. It's probably what they are. We did not get the identification this time, so we don't know exactly what we're fighting yet. So we're going to have our front line just run into them and start bashing them. Silvara is going to inspect the enemies. Yeti Man is going to hide. So the good thing about thieves is that on the first turn they can hide, and then while they're hidden they can attack from the back row. This means that Yeti Man, a lot of enemies will not be able to attack Yeti Man, but he will be able to attack them. And I believe you do get sneak attack damage as well. I'm not going to have Reg cast any spells yet. I want to save our spells in case we get into multiple fights. Scar would be upset that it's... Oh, we're not going to even talk about that on stream. What's my favorite thing about this game? I just love games where you get to create your own characters and explore dungeons. To me, that's just so much fun, especially when the dungeons are really difficult and brutal. Like, it actually makes it more fun for me that we can just get annihilated by traps. Pizza got hit for 2 damage. We did not... okay, Yeti Man identified the kobolds, so now we have a little bit more information on them. I believe if we identify them again, we'll get even more information, so let's work on that. We have to be careful. Pizza took a little bit of damage. I'm going to have Silvara inspect again. Yeti Man failed to hide, so we're going to try again this turn. As long as you don't get caught, you can keep attempting to hide every turn. Yeti Man failed to hide again. And then I think Chris landed that shot. Oh yeah, I wanted to check on the kill counts. I'm pretty sure the older games kept track of your kill counts, so I want to see if the newer games do as well. Okay, so now we have an actual thief in our party. Yeti Man has a 72% chance to inspect the chest. That is significantly more likely to succeed. He is very certain that it is a poison needle. 76% certain. We're going to try to open it. He succeeded. There you go, Yeti Man. We got a lot of extra bonus gold from that. I'm very happy about that. I think did an item come out of there too? I can't tell. I'm getting used to the menus in this game. They're a little bit different from when I'm used from, you playing on like an old school controller. It looks like it was not an item, just a lot of extra gold, but that's fine. A lot of extra gold is fine. Never complain about that. All right, so let me go back to abilities. Yes, we have a kill count. Okay, so right now, Pizza is one of our most deadly fighters. They've killed 3 enemies already. I think Big Boss got a few kills as well. Yeah, I love old school dungeon crawlers, and I love games where you can create your own characters. And I love games that have just, like, brutal difficulty. Unless there's a secret door in here, it looks like this room is pretty much empty. It looks like 50 gold. Yeah, that's a lot. Like, that's worth it. That's worth the risk of opening a chest. We encountered another group of kobolds. This time, I'm going to have our fighters run in and attack. I'm going to have Silvara inspect. I'm going to have Yeti Man hide. And I will have Reg cast a Catino to try and put these kobolds to sleep so that they don't damage our front line too badly. One thing I like too is that it really rewards like slow and patient exploration. Like we're probably going to be going into the dungeon and like exploring 1 or 2 rooms at a time before heading back. We got ineffective Catino. Reg, your spells have not been too successful. Part of the reason is actually because spellcasting ability in this game is heavily scaled to level. And since all of our characters are still level 1, actually so much of this game is scaled to level. Like your stats don't matter as much as you think. Level is very important. Your hit rate is determined by level. Your spellcasting success is determined by level. Your resistance is determined by level. Your evasion rate is determined by level. Everything's determined by level. Anyway, we're in a little bit of a pickle here. Yeti Man did hide, so now we have the option to ambush. So we're going to try and ambush. We're going to try to get a sneak attack. I'm going to cast a Halito this turn because it's more likely to succeed. At least if we can just hit an enemy and take out one of these kobolds, we can reduce the amount of pressure on our party. Nice. Pizza got another kill. Passaman got a sick kill, 14 damage, and interesting. We got 1 kobold left. I'm not sure what happened with Reg. I kind of missed the log. Hold on a second. I think I can scroll up and see what happened in the log. No, I don't know how to do that. Oh, yes, I do. Okay, here we go. Oh, no, hold on a second. We put 1, 2, 3 kobolds asleep last turn. And this turn, it looks like the Catino did not hit anything. Okay, I have to look at the log to see what happened, but you can see if I scroll up that Reg actually put 4 kobolds to sleep. the message about Katina was ineffective, that only applied to one kobold. Alright, we should be able to take them out this turn. Chris got a kill. Yeti Man failed to hide when there was no enemies around. Loot. Did we get any loot? Did we get any loot? No loot. Typically, you get loot in rooms, not in wandering encounters. Alright. I'm going to have Silvara heal our party back up, and we're going to go back and rest again. Pizza's safe. Passamon is safe. Okay. So we actually did good that time. Nobody died. We're doing significantly better. Hello, everybody, says Gianna. Hey, Gianna, welcome to the stream. If you want to submit a character, let me know. I'm heading back to town to submit characters right now. So we're going to have, same as last time, we only need our spellcasters to rest to recover their spell slots. So Silvara is going to rest. Reg is going to rest. I want to inspect our characters while we're here. I believe you can do that in the tavern. No, you do it in the inn now. So, how much experience do we need? Silvara is at around 700 out of 1,000 experience. So Silvara needs about 300 more experience to level up. Yeti Man is not really close because he's only been on one adventure. Reg is pretty close, only about 400 away. Chris and Pizza are getting pretty close. Passamon is still a little bit on the lower end. Throw enough bodies at the wall and eventually a few stick. If I use the fireball, I use the fireball spell, but the target died before it was cast. Ah, yes, that happens in this game. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and remove a bunch of characters from the party again. We'll definitely bring our alternate thief with us. If anybody else wants to submit either a mage or a priest, let me know right now, and I will add them to the party. I think. Let me scroll back up. Marseilles wanted to submit an alternate character, which was. I cannot find it. Marseilles, where are you? Abaddon, Elf Priest. Okay, so we'll add Abaddon into the party then. So let's go and create... Let's start with Abaddon. If I miss anybody, let me know. Just even, like, if you submit a character and I miss you, like if I skip over you and go to the next person, go ahead and ping me, because I'm definitely not going to do that intentionally. That will only happen if I make a mistake. Alright, so we're rolling for Abaddon right now. 8 stat points. He's going to be an elf. Priest. This is good because elves can do a pretty good job of reclassing from priest into mage, or mage into priest. With that in mind, let's see. Honestly, I think his stats are all pretty good as is. We can probably give him a few extra points of piety, so he has a higher chance of learning spells. Well, hold on, first of all. Let's see if there's anything that we can push up to a benchmark. So, 12 luck, 16 agility would be the benchmarks. I'm going to give him 1 point of vitality, so there's less of a chance of him accidentally getting a vitality penalty if it goes down when he levels up. I'll give him a few points of agility, and then I'll put the rest into piety so he can learn spells. We're going to do an evil priest. It's going to be our next elf. Abaddon. I don't remember how you spelled it. I have to scroll back up. You never heard of any Wizardry games until Wizard Daphne. Yeah, apparently Wizard Daphne is pretty popular right now. I did not expect that. Hold on a second. When I posted my recruitment thread to the subreddit, to the Wizardry subreddit, I noticed that the Wizardry subreddit is extremely active right now, all because of Wizard Daphne, basically. I did not expect that at all. Gianni, you submitted it on the stream publication, like on the community post. So if you want to submit a character, go ahead and post them here in the chat. Because I'm not going to be looking at the community post until I get to everybody in chat first. However, I just looked over and I see you right now. There you are, Gianni. You're actually right at the top of the list. So I will go ahead and add you right now. So you want to be a halfling. Ooh, you have 19 bonus points. That is fantastic. So let's go ahead and, honestly, let's maximize your agility and luck for trap disarming. Give you 11 intellect so you can change into a mage later. And then, because you're going to be switching into a mage, I actually think vitality is a good stat now. It's going to possibly give us the chance to get some HP. No, sorry, you don't reclass from priest into from thief into mage. You reclass from mage into thief. So we actually don't really need intellect. Probably, honestly, strength is a kind of a good option. So let's do strength and vitality. This means if we get like good random level ups in strength and vitality, they could potentially get high enough to the point where your sneak attacks are dealing better damage. So this is going to be our thief. We're going to go halfling. Burrito. Yeah, if you have submitted characters to the community post or the Reddit thread already, go ahead and submit them in chat. Because I'm going to be looking at chat before I look at those posts. Gianni's been hitting the gym. Alright, we're going to go to the tavern. We're going to add into the party. So let's go ahead and add Burrito. Let's go ahead and add Abaddon as our thief for this adventure. We're going to use Burrito as our... Abaddon as our priest for this adventure. Burrito as our... No, we're going to do Valen as our thief because Valen still hasn't gone into the dungeon yet. So Burrito, you're going to have to wait. We're going to do Valen first. And then... Are there any mages who have not gone in yet? Does not look like it. So, you know what? Let's have Backseat Greg go in one time. This is going to be Backseat Greg's first adventure. I'm very excited to see how he does. He's very good at giving unsolicited advice. Let's see how good he is at actually exploring dungeons. And we got a couple characters who are pretty close to leveling up, so there's a small chance that we could level up. You created a thief because you saw everyone was creating wizards and priests. So right now we have a pretty good balance. However, if any of our fighters die, we're definitely going to have a shortage of fighters. Yeah, Daphne is popping off right now. That's a good way to put it. You don't mind waiting because you enjoy the stream? Okay, cool. All right, so we're going to go ahead and check these rooms again just to see if we can find some treasure chests. Or should we? Should we? Let me guys know if you prefer for me to search for treasure chests or if you want me to try and make progress and find new rooms that we have not explored yet. So first of all, we got an encounter with 4 orcs. Ugly looking fellows. Mages and fighters are always good. Ooh, the orcs surprised us. They're running away again. It seems like the orcs have running behavior. Yeah, so enemies with running behavior typically are not that threatening because usually, especially if they ambush you, they just immediately run away on the first turn. Chris just one-shot the orc. The only orc who is dumb enough to not run away got one-shot by Chris. Nice kill. We probably got a chest. Okay, so Valen has a 66% inspection chance. He's pretty sure that it's a crossbow bolt. 71% disarm chance. Let's see if he can do. Let's see if he can live up to the legacy of Scar, or if he can disarm a simple crossbow trap. Nice, 40 gold. And every party. Okay, so it does distribute the gold, but then for some reason it gives me the lump sum gold when I'm in the shop. I'm not sure why it does that. I'd prefer if the gold was individually shared for a couple different reasons. It's a lot more exciting, especially if you party wipe. Having the gold split up individually between characters makes it harder to recover all of your gold. You guys do want to search for treasures? Okay. So yeah, we'll take our time. We'll do some like grinding, a little bit of treasure searching, and we'll make progress just while we can. This is our first time encountering slimes. Ooh, we got a free identification, but the monster surprises. Now slimes, I'm pretty sure will not run away, so we're going to have to take them out. Let's have Abaddon inspect. Valen, get ready to sneak attack. And I think Backseat Greg is actually just going to inspect. Because Greg has very good intellect and piety, which means they're actually very good at investigating enemies. So that is the one good thing about bringing Backseat Greg with us. I love the name Backseat Greg, by the way. I know it's not very cool to laugh at your own jokes, but... Alright, we're splitting up our attacks, but we did manage to deal a little bit of damage. And our fighters are doing a good job of blocking the enemy attacks. I feel pretty good about just attacking here. Chris got hit for 1 damage. That's not too bad. Because if we can beat this encounter without using any resources, we can make a little bit of progress. We didn't get much experience for killing slimes. I'm going to keep that in mind. Valen's going to inspect. He's 70% sure that there's no trap. How confident do we feel about that? I'm gonna go for a disarm, just in case it's actually trapped. I would say Poison Needle is the most devastating one, so I'm going to guess that it's a Poison Needle. If I'm wrong, no big deal. It was no trap. Okay, so Valen was correct. 80 gold. Not bad. I can't remember if we fully explored this room yet, so I'm going to do it now. A crossbow bolt is no match for me, says Valen. Let me go to camp. I'm going to see if Backseat Greg has Doom Epic. He does not. We still have no Doom Epic users. I think maybe Doom Epic is one of the less likely spells to learn. Overlord Trevor, steel yourself. Every open door could be your death. Reg says Ellery plays Fire Emblem, right? Oh, definitely. Play a lot of Fire Emblem. I'm assuming that's a rhetorical question. Interesting. This is a nice wide open area. Alright, I don't want to explore too deep in this area because I have a feeling I could very easily get lost and lose my way. We got another encounter of slimes as well. Alright, let's just open fire on these guys. We actually don't have a lot of spellcasting ability, I just realized. Alright, let's go with Inspection, and then we're going to have Greg cast... Greg is going to cast his first Catino. Let's see if he can put some slimes to sleep. Nice shot, Chris. No, Greg failed all 4 of his Catino checks. He did not put any slimes to sleep. Nice kill shot, Pizza. Pass him on, dealing some good damage, some good chip damage. Honestly, we could probably fight one more encounter, but if we get unlucky, that could also be our last. I'm willing to play a little bit risky just because we're playing on stream. Oh, how much I trust percentages, I gotcha. I'm not afraid of a 1% crit. Alright, let's... So this is a pretty big wide open area. We do know that this little nudge over here is the way back. So if I keep that in mind, I'm pretty confident I won't get too lost. So first of all... Ooh, this is interesting. Corridor out of limits, turn back. Let's not go there yet. Let's explore this side passage first. There's a door here. Alright, let's check this room before we head back to town. Ooh, you can actually step back. So typically in older Wizardry games, when you press backwards, it causes your party to turn around. It looks like here, when I press back, I actually step backwards. Alright. Let's head back. I said I was going to open this door and then head back. So let's head back. Yeah, because, see, we're likely to get wandering encounters on the way back. So if we pushed our luck, if we pushed too far, we could get killed by a wandering encounter on the way back. Especially because we got surprised by these rogues. Chris is taking some heavy damage. Passamon and Pizza are defending nicely. I'm going to inspect the enemies. I want to get information on these rogues. I'm going to go for another Catino. I think slimes are resistant against sleep. So Greg has a better chance of putting these rogues to sleep, I think. We're dealing some chip damage. We need to get some kills. Nice shot, Pizza. Pizza's dealing good damage. We got 3 out of 4 put to sleep. Excuse me, hold on a second. The really good thing is that when you put enemies to sleep, if you hit them, you deal max damage. That's one of the reasons Catino is such a good spell. Not only does it stop them from attacking, but it makes it so that when you hit the enemies, you deal max damage and take them out instantly. Mirror Fanboy says, I do not want poison in my mutton. Mirror, if you want to submit a character, let me know in chat. I think you submitted one on the community post already, but I'm not checking the community post right now. I'm using characters from chat first, and then we'll go back and we'll check the community post later. Backseat Greg is out of spell slots, so this is definitely a good time to head back. It looks like the last rogue ran away. Very wise decision. Let's see if they dropped a chest this time. Yeah, typically you don't get chests from wandering monsters. It's usually in rooms, but sometimes you do. I'm pretty sure sometimes you can. Chris says we should head back up. I could use a rest at the inn to train up my abilities. Ooh, Chris is ready to level up. It's cool that the characters actually talk to you in this version. Chris is tanking these attacks like no one's business. Let's see if so one good thing about having Abaddon with us if we heal Chris back up to full, whenever they level up, they'll have their full, like, leveled up HP, and we won't have to heal them again after they level. So let's use Dios. We're going to heal Chris back up to full for sure. Nice. Really good Dios. All right, let's head back. Looks like we've got 2 level ups ready. So these are going to be our first level ups. Fighters level up faster than... I think Thieves level up the fastest. Fighters level up the second fastest. And Fighters are a very strong class because they get multi-attack at level 5. So if we can get to level 5, we'll get multi-attack, and like these characters are just going to start popping off. All right, so we're going to start with Chris. We're going to level up. We got 4 HP. And I looked like all of our I'm sorry about that. Hold on a second. I'm going to pause the stream archive. I didn't realize what was happening. Okay, so I've paused the archive, and I'm looking at it now. So it looks like Chris got +1 strength. So they have max strength now. They got +1 intellect, +1 piety, +1 vitality. So they have max vitality now, and they got +1 luck. So they got all of their stats went up. Agility went down, but they also gained 4 HP. When I level up Pizza, I will actually stop on the stat screen so we can actually look at the level up. So I don't mess that up again. Yeah, so Fighters at level 5, they get multi-attack, and then at level 10, they get triple attack. At level 15, they get quad attack. They can actually get, if you somehow level a character all the way up to level 50, Fighters in this game can attack 10 times in a single turn. Ninjas, Samurai, and Lords can also multi-attack. Other characters, they don't multi-attack from level up, but they can multi-attack if they get magic weapons. So if we get a magic short sword, for Valen, for example, he could do multi-sneak attacks. If we get a magic mace, you can get like a multi-attacking priest, things like that. But typically, Fighters and Ninjas are the best multi-attackers. The reason I like Fighters so much is because they level up so quickly, and level is so important to them. So it's very synergistic. They level up fast, and they get better by leveling up. All right, so Pizza gained strength, intellect, piety, and agility. None of their stats went down, and they got 5 HP. So they're up to 13 now. So we have 2 really strong frontline fighters now. Let's bring 1 fighter with us from the old group. We'll definitely bring Chris with us. We'll keep Passamon with us because he was just recently added. And then I'm going to check on my Thief, Priest, and Wizard situation. I'm also going to check and see if I have any other characters, anybody who wanted to add characters. So Mirror submitted a Dwarf Priest or Fighter named Ulrich. Yes, I need to rest my other characters. Thank you for reminding me, Faye. I will go ahead and do that. I'm adding Mirror's character now. If I skipped you, if you submitted a character in the chat and I missed you, please let me know. I think I got Gianni's character already. So we'll do Mirror. It was on the community post. Let me see if I can find it then so I can see what name you wanted. Ulrich, that was it. Well, you also just said it. I don't know how I missed that. Alright, so we're going to visit the training grounds. We're going to create a character. We're going to roll your stat points now. We're looking at Dwarf. We're going to roll now. Okay, Ulrich has 9 stat points. So you want a Priest or a Fighter. Right now, we actually have a couple of Priests and a couple of Fighters, so there's not really a strong preference towards one or the other. It looks like on your original post you said that you wanted a Priest, so we'll go ahead and we'll do Priest. We're going to start you off as a Priest, and we'll multi-class you into Fighter later on. I think that's a good idea. With that in mind, let's first make sure you don't have an Agility penalty, and then we're going to level up your Piety. Hold on a second. Yeah, let's level up your Piety as much as possible so that you can learn a lot of spells. Learning spells will be good for a multi-class character. This is going to be our Ulrich. So if Ulrich survives long enough, we will go ahead and multi-class him into a fighter. Then he's going to be a really sick multi-attacking fighter with like leveled priest spells. It looks like Mirror was the only person who joined right now. You know what, since I have the community post open anyway, let me look at the community post and submit a few characters. So first of all, one character that I haven't added yet was Oak's character. Oak is not here today, but I know he wanted to add his character to the stream. He was making a human wizard. We're going to roll it now. It's got 8 stat points. His name is Splarfus. So because he's a pretty low stat point character, I'm going to go with the same logic. I'm going to maximize his intellect and think about reclassing him into something like a ninja, a samurai or a thief later on. I do want to make him neutral in case he gets the stat points to class into samurai. I think samurais have to be neutral. This is our Splarfus. Nope. Splarfus. And then, what's really cool is I'm looking at the submissions on the community post, and most of these people are actually in the chat right now. I see Valen. Valen's already here. Silvara's already here. Black Mask is here. Faye's here. Mirror's already here. We just added Volric. Mavtato wanted to create a character. We'll go ahead and make his Hobbit fighter. That's actually real fun because Hobbit's not typically a fighter class. Oh my god, we got the god roll. 29 attribute points. This is a less than 1% chance of happening when you create a new character. And we're going to be using on a halfling. Well, you know what? Let's, I wonder if we can make him into a samurai. I wonder if we have the stat points for samurai. Oh, this is sick. We can actually make a starting samurai. Let's do it. Let's do it. It's fun. I'm not a huge fan of the samurai class for a couple reasons I can discuss later on if people want. But this is too much fun. We got the god roll. We might as well use it. I'm going to maximize his strength, or nearly maximize his strength, and probably intellect as well, because no, let's do agility, because if we get agility level ups, we can get a good turn order. Yeah, let's do this. We're going to do samurai. Yeah, samurais can't be evil, so they'll have to be neutral in this party, because we're doing a neutral evil party. This is our Mavtato. I'm actually going to give him this portrait, because this is really sick looking. Dude, I wish Mavtato was here to see this. This is sick. We actually got the god roll. All right, let's go ahead and set up this party. Starting samurai, pretty sick. And I'll make sure to go back to the inn and rest up too as well. All right, so we've got Chris, we've got Passamon. I'm gonna change sort type. I want to sort by class. Yes, here we go. So we're gonna bring Mavtato with us, I think, just because it's too awesome not to bring them. So we're gonna have a samurai in the front line with our fighters. Then we're gonna we need a priest. So the only priest who hasn't gone into the dungeon yet is Ulrich. So Ulrich, we're going to send them in right away. And then the thief that we haven't used yet is Burrito. And then looking at our mages, because Oak isn't here, I actually feel better about sending Reg, because Reg is pretty close to leveling up. I would rather have Reg get a level up rather than send Splarfus into the dungeon when Oak is not actually even here yet. Might not even have time to stop by today. So, do we even need anybody to rest? I can actually check. Spells. Yeah, we actually... No, hold on a second. Ulrich has... Yeah, everyone has at least 2 spell slots available, so it looks like nobody needs to rest this time. I'll have to make sure that I remember that before going to the maze with my other characters who didn't get the chance to rest earlier. People in chat are a little bit hyped about the samurai role. Is there a specific reason I'm doing a neutral evil party? So good and evil characters cannot go on adventures together. So typically you want to either have a good party or an evil party. I knew that I was going to do a single alignment party. If we were playing Wizardry 3, it would actually be a lot of fun, because in that game there's actually a reason to have a good party and an evil party, to have 2 different parties. But in this game, you just basically only need 1 party. When people submitted characters to the community post and the Reddit thread, nobody really specified their alignment. There was only a couple people who asked for evil characters, and since the only people who asked for characters all asked for evil characters, I just decided to go with an evil party. And I was leaning on doing an evil party anyway, so it's kind of just what we ended up with. Ooh, encounter. 5 skeletons. Skeletons are fun. Alright, we're going to start with Chris, Passamon, and Mavtado. We can see information on the kobolds. I see. So this is what the identify command is for. So right now we can see the undead kobolds spawn in groups of 1d6 plus 1. So basically 2 to 7 kobolds. They give 230 experience. We don't know about their class, their armor class, their HP, or what kind of attacks or resistances they have. So we want to keep inspecting them for now. I'm going to have Reg inspect rather than casting a spell. Oh, hold on a second. I've got a better idea. I'm going to have Ulrich cast Dispel Undead. It's a very powerful technique that only priests can use. It works on undead creatures like this, and you can instant kill them, which is extremely useful to be able to do. In that case, I'll have Reg do Inspect, and Ulrich Dispel Undead. Nice kill. It looks like Ulrich got 1 Dispel Undead, so pretty sick. I think that goes towards their kill count as well. When you Dispel Undead, you get the experience for killing them. It's not the same as when they run away, which is pretty cool. Let's go ahead and Dispel again. The other thing I love about Dispel is that you can spam it. It doesn't take heal slots. It's not limited. It's not like Turn Undead in Dungeons & Dragons where you're limited per day. You can just spam Dispel Undead against undead encounters. It's really cool. Mavtado landed a shot. Our character dodged. Kobold blocked. Burrito landed a little chip damage sneak attack. Oh, Chris took some damage. Alright, Ulrich. Ooh, Ulrich got 2 dispels. No, he got 1 dispel, sorry. Just 1. I want to do, I'm going to try to identify now. Yeah, because we still don't have a lot of information on them. It looks like the chances of getting a successful identify is pretty low, because we haven't really succeeded at very many of them. From what I remember reading in the change logs for the game's remake, I believe there are 3 stages of identification. So the first is like when you're able to see enemies instead of them just being like vague monster outlines, and then the second one probably gives information on like their class, their HP, and stuff like that. Okay, looks like there's a lot of doors here to explore. A couple of orcs. Is there a difference between evil and good characters? Evil characters in Wizardry 1 have special equipment that only they can use, which is one of the reasons why I was leaning towards doing an evil party anyway. That's a little bit metagamey. If you don't know about that, then you would never think to do it. The other difference is that ninjas can only be evil and lords can only be good. So typically, unless you do some manipulation strategies, you can't have a lord and a ninja in the same party. There are ways to do it, but it's you have to do some workarounds to get them into the same party. Additionally, thieves can only be neutral. I think we just found a secret door, by the way. Thieves can only be neutral, and priests and bishops have to be either good or evil. So there's a lot of like considerations when party building on alignment. And yeah, in Wizardry 3, there's like a good elemental plane and an evil elemental plane. And so you have to have your good party go into the good area and the evil party go into the evil area. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, I think this is a secret door because it looks like the wall is glowing, and I noticed that the open door prompt popped up. I don't know if we'll be able to come back if we go through here. This might be a one-way door. We are about to find out the hard way. It's a one-way door. Oh my god. Oh, we might be in trouble, guys. We might be in a lot of trouble. Oh god. Do we have Duma pick? We do not have Duma pick. We have no way of knowing where we are right now. We just walked through a one-way door. We can't go back, and we don't know where we are. The good thing is, from playing a lot of first-person dungeon crawlers, I have a pretty good sense of direction. I know that the stairs are in that direction. I think. I'm pretty sure the stairs are in that direction. So I'm going to try... The stairs are either in this direction or this direction. So I'm going to try to go like this way as much as possible. We have to be very careful now. We are in a very precarious position. Oh my god, what just happened? Oh my god. Okay, this is the wall that we walked into. And then when we turned, it teleported us into a new room that has a bunch of doors. So assuming that we're still at least in the same orientation or direction, oh my god. Yeah, this is about to be a party wipe. This is about to be a party wipe. Not only did we just go through a one-way door, then we walked into a teleporter. I'm gonna go this way. I think this is the way that leads back to the exit. I have no idea if I'm correct, but I think this is the way back to the exit. Oh god, there's undead monsters in here too. Good thing we have Ulrich with us. Ulrich can at least turn undead. So we walked through a one-way trap into a teleporter trap. Marcelo says this place is controlled by a Scooby-Doo villain. Nice. Oh my god. Alright, let's go. I'm gonna try to save my resources. Because these are undead monsters, there's a good chance we can dispel them. So I don't want to waste spell slots on them. Oh, nice attacks. Our front line just went crazy. Chris, Passamon, and Mavtato all got a kill there. Burrito missed. Oh, we got a dispel, instant kill. I think Ulrich's got a few kills already under his belt. We chipped that one. And he moved into the center position. We're in a pretty good position to win this encounter. Nice 10 damage hit. Mavtato hits really hard because they have like max strength. Got some good level ups. There's a one-way door here. You see that? Or maybe not a one-way door, but there's a secret door here. Yeah, we don't need to check camp. It's been a good run. Let's go, Mavtato. Yeah, Mavtato, I don't know if you were here when we rolled your character, but you got the God roll, 29 plus 29 stat points on character generation. There is a less than 1% chance of that happening. As a result, we went ahead and made you into a samurai because it's a really good starting class. It's basically like a fighter with extra HP, and they eventually get the ability to learn mage spells. The only downside is they level up a little bit slower. Anyway, it looks like I found another one-way door, so I'm going to inspect this. I'm going to see what's through here. Okay. Another one-way door. Or another secret door. So there's a bunch of secret one-way doors lined up in a row. Oh my god, which way did we just go? Can we go? No, we have to go this way. Okay. I wonder if this will lead us back to where we started. We might actually be okay. Okay, so the game doesn't always tell you when you find a secret door. I guess there's like a small chance for your characters to notice it. Otherwise, you have to just like kind of guess and check every single wall. So like that one, for example, our characters did not notice it. I just found it by guess and checking. This one, our characters did not notice anything. I'm just going to guess and check. I'm assuming it's right here. Okay. Can we go left? No. Can we go right? Yes. I have no idea where we are, guys. We can go right again. We're basically just going through a bunch of secret doors. Are there any other alternate paths? No, so we have to go left here. Okay, we found an actual door. And it leads to... How did you come to be here? There is a presence here. No, it couldn't be him. We are back in... Oh god, we're back in this room. Okay, so this direction was not the right way to go. It just loops back to this door. I'm gonna actually check for secret doors. I did not find any. Okay, I'm gonna try maybe this door. Guys, we are lost. We are lost and in a lot of trouble. There's a good chance Mavtato just dies here. 4 kobolds. We're doing okay. We're kind of doing okay. Because we've got strong characters and we're conserving our spell slots, we have options. Like if we get into a bad situation, we have a few panic buttons. We have a Halito, we have a Catino. Our fighters still have good HP. We haven't used any of our heals yet. Everyone's saying, oh no. Hey, we're doing pretty good. Yes, we did just go in a big circle that led us back to the room that we had no idea how to get out of. But we're still alive, okay? We can do this. Ooh, nice one-shot, Chris. In these low levels, our fighters are going to be doing a lot of the work, while our other characters basically just stand in the back row and just, like, wait to throw off, like, a panic button, if it comes to that. Alright, so it looks like this door... Ooh, Reg's ready to level up. Also leads back to the one-way. Okay, so this door leads to the one-way. This door over here also leads to the one-way. That's kind of tricky, because I wonder, like, what would be the alternate doors to take that wouldn't lead to the same place? Like, I'm assuming this also leads to the same place. Yeah, this just leads to the same thing. So we have to go back in another loop again. We have to go all the way back here. We have to find a door that doesn't get stuck in this loop. Or we have to find a way out of this loop that I didn't notice on the last time through. Oh! I don't know if I just went through a secret door or if I just got ambushed by rogues. Dungeon crawling with no map is crazy. It's time to start drawing a map, Etrian Odyssey style. Yeah, there is a map, we just don't have access to it. Because we don't have Duma Pick. And you can, there is a way, in the newer versions of the game, there is a way to turn on a map that's like always on. Personally, I don't like doing that. I prefer to use Duma Pick. I think it's more true to the original experience. Okay, the good thing about rogues is that they tend to run away, which means we don't have to fight them. All three of them, in fact, ran away. Unfortunately, we don't get any experience, but that's okay. Yeah, unfortunately, that was not a secret door. Okay, so we're back here again. Which doors have we taken? We've taken this door, we've taken this door, we've taken the other two doors on the side. The problem is, it feels like these three doors would also lead back to the same loop, doesn't it? I'm not sure. I'm going to start on the left. Oh. Within this room, there's a statue of a strange beast with the body of a chicken and the head of a cat. The statue is made of bronze and lies on an onyx pedestal. There are unusual runes on the plaque thereon. The party obtained a bronze key. Nothing else of interest here. Well, we actually made some progress. We got a bronze key. All right, let's check the other side door. Interesting. You see a large statue of a hooded humanoid. There is a golden light coming from a hole in the hood. The statue is bejeweled with precious and semi-precious stones. In front of the statue is an altar from which incense is burning. Oh no. Oh no. I just searched the altar and I think a ghost just attacked us. It is Murphy's ghost. Based on my memories, I think we should run away from this thing. Hey KJ, it's 1 a.m. so you're heading to bed. Good luck with the dungeon crawling. You're going to catch up with the rest of the VOD later. If you want to submit a character before you head to bed, feel free to do so. You might have actually posted in the community post. Let me check there. I'm not sure. I don't see a KJ there, but sometimes YouTube lists people's names as different. So if you want to submit a character here in the chat or on the Reddit thread, yeah, if you want to submit a character in chat before you go to bed, I will add them to the party as soon as I get back to town. Assuming we make it back in one piece. I'm going to run away. I think this Murphy's Ghost seems pretty dangerous. The only thing that I think we could possibly do is dispel it, but he's probably high level, and if he's high level, it means we're not going to have a good chance. I'm pretty sure the dispel it... I'll try it, but I think dispel undead doesn't work if they're high level. Chris failed to run. Mavtado succeeded at running. Nice, we got away. Okay, so we are... Interesting, okay. So when you run in this version, it seems like it forces your character to randomly actually run around the map. Scooby... This is just adding to the Scooby-Doo aesthetic. We just ran around in a circle. Okay. Awesome. Ooh, a big enemy party. 3 kobolds and 5 orcs. I think this is a good time to bust out the Catino, because these orcs are not going to run away. Sorry, 1 second. No, hold on. I want to attack the kobolds. I want to inspect the kobolds. I want Burrito to start hiding. No, actually, I'm just going to have them... Yeah, I'm going to have them hide. And then Reg is going to cast a Catino on the orc line to hopefully put them to sleep so they don't attack our fighters. And then we can also start attacking them while they're asleep next turn. Hopefully, if everything goes according to plan. I was trying to one-shot these kobolds. It's not really working. We got 4 orcs put to sleep. Mavtado got a kill shot. Pasamon got a kill shot. This is really good. I feel a lot better. There's a lot of sleeping orcs. I'm going to attack the orcs this turn. Excuse me, while they're asleep. Burrito. The kobolds are less dangerous anyway. Oh, let me, Oh, the orcs do run away. Okay, cool. For some reason, I thought they didn't have running behavior. Alright, well, let's just pile on attacks. Before this last one can escape. Oh, he's asleep anyway. Poor guy. What about the characters in the post? So I'm going to be adding characters from chat before I look at the Reddit post or the community post. So if you want to be added to the party right away, you should absolutely submit a character right now in chat. Yeah, you can just copy paste what you already posted. It's fine. I don't mind. It's going to help me see your character and get them added to the party right away. KJ, you just want to lurk and passively enjoy. That's totally fine. We love lurkers in this chat. Yeah, we got lucky. We ran away from Murphy's ghost. Dude, I love that they added your characters actually running away like Scooby-Doo characters when you flee. That is so funny. All right, what's our thief's name again? I can't remember what the name of I can't remember what our thief is in this party. I think it's Valen. It looks like they have a pretty good certainty that there's no trap here. We got anything good? 50 gold. I'm not going to complain about that. Let me check what the... Oh, it's Burrito. Yeah. Okay, so this is Burrito. Okay, so the only door we haven't checked, I think, is the middle door. So I'm going to check the middle door. It just leads us back to where we already were. Okay. The only thing I can think... It seems like we're trapped here. So the only thing I can think is that while we're in here, there must be another way that leads back out. Oh, is this it? This door was not here before. Ah, I see. So after we've gone through and explored the whole loop, it seems like we create like another magical door appeared that leads back to the outside. This is really cool. I'm having so much fun. It's been a while since I played Wizardry 1, so like genuinely I don't remember a lot of this. It's not like I'm going into this and like pretending like I don't know what's happening. Like, yes, I have played the game before, but I don't really remember a lot of the specific like mechanics of like traps like this. Like us just randomly walking into this trap created so much tension, so much excitement. It added like a story to what was happening. That's one of the things. So someone asked earlier what I love about these types of games. In my opinion, what I love, or what I think is so great about these games and what I love about these types of games is that they allow you to create your own story. We didn't have to do any cutscenes. We didn't have to get like characters introducing themselves and things like that, or get like character backstories and biographies. Like we learned about the story of what was happening based on like what actually happened in the gameplay. And that means every person's experience of playing the game can be very different. By the way, we escaped from that area, and all that happened was we got trapped in a dark zone where we can't see anything. And it's also a one-way, by the way. I tried to get back out. I could not get back out. So now we are trapped in this dark zone. Still with no Doom Epic, by the way. We still have no Doom Epic. So we have no way to see what we're doing. Once you get the key, it causes that door to appear. Ah, I got you. Once you've deduced all the features of the enemy, you can use fast combat. If you toggle fast combat, the animations from the enemies will be skipped. That's actually really cool. How do I skip? How do I toggle that? Looks like R2. Okay, so this should make the combats play faster because we've already identified these enemies. It's a little bit faster. Doesn't really seem that much faster to me, but it's okay. Maybe it's faster than it was before. We can beat kobolds without using any spells, so I'm not going to waste any spells here. Do I have a light spell on Ulrich? I don't think so, but I will check. I think he has Dios and Badios, but I'll check. And also, I don't think light spells work in dark zones. I think they're more for lighting up the regular passageways to see better. And in the older versions of the game, what it did really was it increased the draw distance of the map. He has Dios and Badios. It's just damage and healing. I would love it if Reg could learn Doom Epic soon. Still no Doom Epic. Alright. I'm just going to explore the edges of the Dark Zone and just try to find a way out of here. I'm just going to hug this wall and just keep bumping into it until I find something. It looks like I'm going straight. Oh, I found something. I found something. It's an elevator? Oh, crap. 5 orcs. I'm okay with fighting orcs without using spell slots as well, especially because they might run away. Oh yeah, the combat is a lot faster. I'm seeing it now. The combat is a lot faster. Why does Reg only have 2 HP? Good question. He's pathetic. It looks like I found something, but I can't use it, so let's just go back out here and just keep checking the walls until we hopefully find... okay, we can't go this way. We can go this way. That just goes back to where we were. I see, okay. Interesting, okay. Honestly, I might need to start drawing a map if I'm ever going to get out of this dark zone. I'm going to have to hand draw a map, aren't I? Let's just keep checking the walls. If we somehow end up back at the elevator and we never get out of here, I will go ahead and start manually drawing a map. But for now... Oh, we're in a corner. Ooh, this is a dangerous line. I'm going to open up on the kobolds. I really have to save my spell slots on Reg in case... Like, this is a dangerous group, but what if we get something even more dangerous, you know? Like, I have to save my Katinos for like, something even more dangerous. Ooh, Passamon and Mabtato health are... they're all getting low. My front line is getting low on health. This is crucial, guys. This is getting nasty. I'm not going to heal in combat. I think healing in combat's usually not a good idea. A lot of times you end up wasting your actions. We just need Mabtato to block their attacks. Mabtato just blocked 2 attacks, by the way. So one of the problems with healing in combat is that a lot of times the character will just die anyway, and then you end up wasting your heal on like an empty slot. Okay, all we have to do now is get rid of these orcs. Burrito's taking damage. Oh, it looks like the orcs can attack the backline. Oh my god, Chris's health is getting low. Yeah, this is getting tough, guys. This is getting brutal. Let's go. Alright, the orcs are fleeing. Mabtato landed a crucial kill shot there. Alright, let's kill this last kobold. Nice. Nice, Passamon. Why does he need more? Yeah, he's fine. 2 HP is enough. Alright, let's go to camp and think about how to best use Ulrich's healing spells now. So, unfortunately, we only have 2 casts of Dios. I think we should use them on Mabtato and Chris. So we got Mabtato up to 6 health. We've got Chris back up to 4 health. Our front line is extremely shaky. There's a door here. There's a door here. There's a door here. Oh my god. No, 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 no. In the center of this room, an old man in a long robe turns towards the party, shouts, and begins waving his hands. Begone, strangers! Mapiro, Mahama, Diromat! Did he send me back to town? Oh, saved! We were saved by the wizard! Yes! Oh, beautiful. That wizard just saved our butts. Oh god, that was so lucky. That was so lucky. If we don't TPK, I'm eating an ice cube. Chris, you need to go eat an ice cube now. I thought that wizard was gonna kill us. He sent us back to town. Very fun, very fun. Everybody here is ready to level up. Let's go ahead and get some fun level ups. I don't know if this will heal them back to full, but we'll worry about that later. So first we're going to start with Chris. They got agility, luck, and 11 HP, so they're up to 25 HP now. They're also very close to their multi-attack. Pass them on, leveling up. Strength, intellect, piety, vitality, and agility, almost a full level up, and 6 HP. That puts them up to 10 out of 14. They also got a second level up. This is the good thing about getting lost in the dungeon and having to fight a ton of encounters. We actually got a bunch of experience. So Passamon leveled up twice. They got intellect, vitality, agility, and luck. 5 more HP. They're up to 19 now. Mavtado, at least 1 level up. Strength, intellect. So they're at max strength now, 18. 15 vitality. Agility went down. That's unfortunate. We want agility to go up. Only 1 HP. That's fine. So the way HP works in this game, every time you level up, your HP gets completely re-rolled. If the new value is lower, you get plus 1 HP. If the new value is higher, you get the new value. So eventually, you will get one lucky level up where you just gain like a bunch of HP. So it doesn't matter, as long as you keep leveling up, you'll eventually get max HP. What's the difference between the Thieves in the original version and the remake? As far as I know, this remake is faithfully rebuilt on top of the original Apple II code. So the characters should all have the same stats balance. Like all the game mechanics should be exactly the same as the original in this game. Aside from some quality of life updates, like just like, for example, like when we investigate traps, we can see what our chance is. In the old game, you couldn't see what your chance was. You just had to like guess. All right, Ulrich time. Intellect, vitality, luck. They learned Kalki, Milwa, and Porphic. That's awesome. 3 new spells on Ulrich. And they got 3 spell points. That means they can cast 5 times now. So Ulrich has just massively increased their casting ability. Burrito. This is going to be our first thief level up, so this is kind of exciting. 2 HP. Plus, Burrito's got max luck, which is actually really good for disarming traps. Pretty good. Level plays a pretty big factor in disarming traps. Level and luck. So being level 2 and having max luck, Burrito is going to be our best trap disarmer. They actually got another level up. Strength, intellect, piety, and vitality. Another HP. Not bad at all. Alright, moment of truth. Time to see if Reg gets Doom Epic, I'm bringing him with me again. He got Doom Epic. Nice. -1 strength. Oh no. I think if you get... I know that if you get... I think if you get 3 vitality, your character dies of old age. I don't know what happens if your strength goes down to 3. Maybe nothing. Unfortunately, he only got 1 spell point, which is not great, but we did get Doom Epic, which is fantastic, so I'll take that. And it looks like he leveled up again. Dilto, and another spell point. And it looks like he got a tier 2 spell as well. Maybe Dilto is a turn 2 spell? A tier 2 spell, sorry. 16 intellect is going to be good for learning more spells in the future. Luck is good. That's basically like your defensive saving throw stat. And he's down to 3 strength. So we're going to find out if anything happens when you drop to 3 strength. Okay, there's no penalty. So it's only vitality. It's only if vitality falls low enough. Let me see if our spell points get restored. We're not resurrecting Scar. I want to see if Ulrich can heal the rest of the party before we go back. There is another... Faye says there is another wizard who will basically TPK our group. Hopefully we don't... Well, we ran into the good wizard. Hopefully we don't run into the bad wizard. Okay, we got all 5 of our spell slots back. So we can do this. We can heal our characters back up. We have 2 more spell slots. And now, because we have Doom Epic, we can actually look at the map, so let's do that. We got Reg. He's got Doom Epic. What tier 2 spells does he have? Oh, is this is tier 2? I can't tell. Yeah, this is tier 2. I see it now. So we have Dilto. So we got 2 new spells. We got Dilto. This one inflicts darkness on a group of enemies, which makes it easier to hit them. Not super useful in my opinion. A lot of times casting Catino is better than just casting Dilto. However, there aren't really that many good tier 2 spells, so if you only have, like, if you just want to use tier 2 spell slots, Dilto's not that bad. I think there might be at least one better option though. Doom Epic, this is going to allow us to see the map. This is our first Doom Epic. So it looks like we explored, let me see if the cursor actually appears on stream. I don't think it does, unfortunately. It looks like, let me move my microphone really quick, because I'm going to be sitting in a different spot. Burrito is going to be huge, trust the process. We got a lot of minus strength. Yeah, Wizard doesn't really need it. Reg's going to be fine. Alright, so this is the map. So we know about the passageway to the right, which leads to a room that we've explored. If we go straight, we have those 2 rooms around the first corner. We've been there before. Now I'm trying to figure out how we got teleported. Excuse me. I see. There is a wraparound effect on this map. So, let me see. If I move, is the map going to disappear? Okay. Unfortunately, I can't point at the map so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Let me actually do this while I'm here. Wizardry game. I'm going to make the cursor appear on the screen. Okay, this should work. No, it's not working. Okay, sorry. Oh wait, no, here it is. Okay, so yes. Okay, so now the cursor should show up on stream. So this, we've been here before. This, from the starting stairway, if we go right, there's basically just a single room and a dead end. Over here, around the first passage, there's these 2 rooms. We know about those. This is the big wide open room that I talked about. I said I didn't want to explore it too much. It looks like this right here leads into the darkness zone. So if we start exploring the darkness zone from this side, we can probably learn some good information. And then also the map has a wraparound effect. So you see we were up here, this is the elevator. After we left the elevator, we went down here, and we ended up here. We wrapped around to the north side of the map. Up here, we went through this door, and I think this is where the wizard is who teleported us. Now, I'm trying to figure out how we got sent over here. I can't remember which direction led us here. I think it was here. So we went through a secret door here, which wrapped around to this side of the map, and then when we walked this way, this over here teleported us over to here. Then we explored this area, which is basically like the Scooby-Doo, all of like the loop around secret doors that are trapped together. This is where the ghost is. This is where the bronze key was. And then this was the way that leads us back over to the dark area. So I think our next goal should be to bring a party with us and then explore the dark area starting from this angle so that we can get a better view of what these walls look like in the dark area. I'm thinking it's probably just a 2 wide passageway. For now, let's head back to town. I think we used all of our Dios charges. Yeah, so we're gonna head back to town. Does this game have a final boss, or is it an endless dungeon crawler? There are, I believe, 8 floors, and there are bosses on some of the later floors. The final boss is Weirdna. We learned a little bit about him at the start of the game. When we first entered the dungeon, we got like a text dump that explained what we're doing here. It talked about how Weirdna stole the amulet from the king, and the king basically asked for adventurers to go into the dungeon to find Weirdna and to recover the amulet. Alright, if anybody is in chat right now and hasn't created a character yet and you want to create a character, now is the time to do it. Just let me know if you want to be a human, elf, dwarf, gnome, or halfling, and then what class do you want, fighter, mage, priest, thief, or bishop. Yeah, we actually got out of that nightmare. I have no idea how we did. We didn't lose any characters. We did not lose any characters. That was actually pretty crucial. All right, let's clear the party. I'm going to create one character from the Reddit post. This is Material Ad. Wanted me to create a character named Pen. And what's really funny is they said dump all of the IQ and make him a mage and then reclass into cleric. Now, I wasn't sure what he meant by this because if you've played Dungeons and Dragons before, you know that dump stat refers to a stat that you minimize. But what he actually wanted me to do was put all of the points into IQ, not to dump the IQ stat, which is kind of funny. That the same word can mean different things, like based on slang, like the exact opposite things. So we're going to do Pen first. So he wants to be a mage. He actually didn't specify which race. So I'm going to look at the races and think about which one is better to reclass into a priest later. Probably something with decent piety. I'm kind of leaning gnome because he's going to have strength, piety, vitality, and agility after level up. The other option, the other fun idea would be halfling. I think gnome should be fine. So we're going to reroll. We're going to roll his stat points now. Oh, no, sorry. He said elf. I'm sorry. Forget everything. Just ignore everything that I just said. So we're going to do elf. We're going to roll 10 stat points. That's pretty good. We'll give him 11 in both stats for sure, just so that we can guarantee, or very likely guarantee, that he can reclass into cleric later. And then he said he wanted to maximize his intellect, so we're going to do that. I'll put the remaining point in vitality, so that he doesn't accidentally level down his vitality and lose hit points later. Or he won't lose hit points, but he'll have very, very bad HP rolls, which he's going to have bad HP rolls anyway. We're going to do elves. They didn't really specify a gender, so we'll just go ahead and do female for Pen. Oh no, sorry. They actually specifically said make him a mage. So we'll do. Oops, no. We'll do one of the mage portraits. I don't think I can't remember if we did this one yet or not, so I'm just going to skip to this one. This is going to be our Pen. I would love it if Pen had Duma pick. He has 18 IQ. I'm going to be annoyed if 18 IQ still can't get Duma pick. Mavtato, you love your character. Black Mask says, good job getting out. Yeah, I have no idea how we did that. Let's do one more character from the Reddit thread while we're in town anyway. Red Mongoose was here. They're saying evil human fighter named Andrew, but I think Red Mongoose is one of the people who's actually in the chat right now. Are you Black Mask? Yes. Man, I am really good at remembering things. Red Mongoose was already here. Or no, sorry, they're not Black Mask, but they are Red Mongoose, and they did already create a character, so we're not going to create a second character for them yet. So let me go back to the Reddit thread. I can't believe I remember that from an hour ago. Okay, Njank left a really good post about the different versions of the game. PC version 1, the Apple II version, or the Mac user. Pretty funny, they actually didn't talk about any of the console re-releases because this game is based on the Apple II code plus updates from the console re-releases. So it's interesting that they didn't mention the combat re-releases. Because they did mention Apple II, I'll use their Apple II character that they submitted, which was a human fighter named Aurelius. So we're going to use that character. I'm going to roll their stat points now. They got 9 stat points, so they definitely need 11 strength. Let's go with vitality, agility. So I'm just going to give them a balanced stat spread, so that way they just naturally gain stats from leveling up. I think that's a good idea. Now they did say they wanted to be neutral, but yeah, neutral's fine, neutral's fine. So we're going to go back to our humans. Alright, I will use this portrait just because it's been a while since we used a female portrait. And Aurelius could maybe be a girl's name. This is our Aurelius, or sorry, I accidentally named her Aurelius. I think you can change them. Yeah. Should be Aurelius. Aurelius. Okay, cool. Alright, now I'm going to check chat and see if anybody in chat wanted to submit a new character. It looks like pretty much all of the active chatters already have active characters. So I'm going to... I want to let you guys pick the party for this adventure. So right now our goal is going to be to go and explore the Dark Zone. So first of all, between our fighters, we're going to have Mavtado, Pizza, Big Boss, Chris, and Passamon, and Aurelius. Actually, I'm going to send Aurelius because this is their first chance to go on a quest. After that, we'll probably need at least 1 or 2 more fighters from this group. You want to send Mavtado. Alright, looks like people want to send Mavtado. I'm kind of interested in sending Backseat Greg again. He's very fun. There is a lot of merit in sending Reg because he has Duma Pick. However, if the new mage that we rolled, if Splarfus or Pen has Duma Pick, it looks like they did not get Duma Pick. So Reg is our only Duma Pick user. That makes me very interested in sending Reg. However, we need to get Duma Pick on other characters as well. So maybe let's think about sending Reg and then one other character. So so which priest do we want to send? We have Silvara, which was our OG priest. She went on the original adventure. She has not been back in there since then. We have Abaddon, who went on one quest, and we have Ulrich, who went on that one really long quest and actually leveled up. You think Valen is good for our thief? Okay. Let me go really quick. I need to go refill my water bottle. While I do that, choose which priest you want to send. We can either send Silvara, Abaddon, or Ulrich. When I get back, I will add the priest to the party, I will add Valen to the party, and then I will add 2 mages to the party. I will be right back. What I want right now is for people to pick a priest. Alright, I'm back. And Foresti says, "Where's my dude Gargamax?" Oh, sorry about that. I saw your post earlier, and I think I just kind of missed it. I'll add Gargamax before we finalize the party. So we'll do Silvara. We're going to be using her as a frontline priest for this quest, and then we're definitely bringing Reg because he has Duma Pick. And we're bringing Valen because it was requested. So let me find Valen. So we're going to do Valen. We're going to do Reg. And then I will go and add Gargamax. I have to see which race and class you wanted. Let's see, where's Anfresi? Human thief named Gargamax. Oh, interesting. Okay. So I will add you, but because Valen was requested, we're going to send Valen on this adventure, and then we'll send Gargamax on the next one. But I will still create your character now. So you want to be a human thief. So we're going to roll your stats now. Okay, this is going to be Gargamax. They need 11 agility. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to give them a lot of agility and luck so that they don't... What other stats would be good? You know what? I'm actually going to give them a lot of strength because we haven't really had a high strength thief yet. I think it would be fun. If he levels up a couple times, he might be able to land like high damage sneak attacks, which could be fun. We've used a lot of the human male portraits already. I can't remember if we used that one, so we'll go ahead and use this one. I want to find one that actually looks like a Gargamax. Probably this guy. Gargamax. Alright, I'm moving my microphone back into the old position now as well. Alright, so the only thing I want now is a second mage. I need to start leveling up another mage. So Pen and Splarfus have not been in there yet. Pen, who created Pen? I'm trying to remember who created Pen. Pen came from the Reddit thread, okay. This was one of the first comments on the Reddit thread, so I will go ahead and add them, even though Pen's not... I don't think Pen is in the chat right now. But because it was one of the first comments on the Reddit thread, I think it's pretty valid that they should, get a turn. So let's head into the maze. You think the portrait needs to be pathetic? You think Silvara will be good because she's decently close to level up. You think grinding is a last resort. You don't want to do that just yet. Yeah. I think it's a lot more fun to play like a little bit reckless and a little bit more fun. I will say though, while we're here, I'm gonna buy some equipment for Silvara because she's gonna be a frontline fighter. For some reason, I can't buy any items. Here we go. I see what happened. It's limiting it to only the weapons that she can equip, which is actually pretty cool. Alright, so... it looks like a flail will have a better hit rate and pretty similar damage. So we'll equip the flail. The next important thing will be upgrading her armor, especially because she's going to be on the front line. I think priests cannot use plate mail. So the best we can afford right now is a breastplate. I think they can use shields, but she's already got a large shield. Yeah, so we'll have to save up for a shield +1. They can't equip any of the other stuff. Okay. Let's equip Aurelius and Mavtato with some better armor. If we can afford it. Plate mail's kind of expensive. We can get them both a breastplate. Possibly helmets as well. I can't remember that. Yeah, they're only 100. This is going to increase our survivability for this quest, because I want to get some good information and come back alive. Let's go ahead and sell all the stuff that we're holding now. I gotta say, I don't love the menu sorting. I prefer the original Wizardry. Like, the menus were a lot simpler, but it also made it faster to navigate, and to get what you wanted to do required fewer button presses, and it was less confusing. This feels a little bit more confusing because I'm constantly having to switch between a list of my weapons, a list of my armor, a list of my priest spells, a list of my mage spells, and I don't know. It's a little bit all over the place. You think you want this Silvara to be good as a frontline fighter? So she's got 7 HP, which is decent for, actually very good for a level 1 priest, in fact. Your gimmick for Gargamax is that he trained to be a warrior, but whenever he does anything warrior or heroic, he just failed spectacularly, so he eventually became a thief. Oh yeah, some people submitted characters. What was I trying to say? Some people submitted characters with backstories and things like that, which is pretty fun. I want to go through and read some of the character backstories. Maybe we'll do that after the next time we go back to town. All right, so I think this is just the dark zone. I think that this fog just leads to the dark area. Ever so clever. What waits within these Stygian halls? So if I'm correct, I think the way the dark zone works, this should be a wall. This should be a wall. We should run into a bunch of walls. And then if I go right, there should be space here. Yes. Now if I go all the way back, I could start checking the right walls. Oh, undead kobolds. This is fine. Silvara can maybe one-shot them with Dispel. Nice. Aurelius got their first kill. Dispel failed. It actually might be better to just have Silvara attack if she's in the front line and there's only one enemy. Okay. So I don't want to cast Doom Epic yet. I want to like explore as much as I think I know before I cast Doom Epic. So this should be a wall. Now there should be walls to our right. Oh. Okay, I was wrong. So I've already completely lost the plot. Let me go back to where I was a second ago. I'm a little bit lost now. Okay, we're gonna have to cast Doom Epic soon, because I'm very lost. That's okay. Let's just keep checking the walls on the right-hand side, I guess, for now. I think that was a one-way. So this should take us to the elevator, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there's the elevator. Okay. Okay, I have to say something here. In the console versions of the game, when you cast Doom Epic, and I'm going to show you this now. I'm going to have Red cast it. Okay, so let me bring up the cursor. In the console version of the game, when you cast Doom Epic, if you have a one-way door or a secret door, it gets marked on the map. And here, now that I'm looking at it, I do see the one-way doors are marked. Like, this is a one-way door here. That's marked, which I do like. But, like, here, I think this was a one-way that we went through, and it's not marked on the map. The map doesn't mark this as a one-way door, which I'm not happy about. I would be much happier if that was marked as a one-way door. But, putting that aside, let's try to figure out where we are. Alright, so if we go left and then down... Okay, never mind. I was wrong. Sorry. I was completely wrong. That's not a one-way door. So that's why it wasn't marked. You think this Silvara was raised by cultists. That's why she's an evil priest in this universe. Interesting theory. And also, by the way, you know what? I'm going to do this. It looks like they give an option to open up your map again. I'm not super happy about that either, but I'll accept it this time, especially if I'm streaming and I want to show something off. Okay, so what I did want to show off was that I did understand the Dark Zone. So this is the Dark Zone. So if we go through here, if you go up, you basically loop around to the bottom of the map. You go up. This is the elevator. This was the Dark Zone area where we kept running into the wall over and over again. And then we came down, and then the teleport back is right here. Now it looks like there's a gap over here where we can go over and we can explore more of the dark area. I don't want to do that yet because we've already used one Doom Epic cast. I'd rather come back and do that when we have more Doom Epic casts available. So instead, let's go back and start checking these doors. And I guess we're going to have to pray that none of them are one-way doors that are going to annihilate us. So let's do that while we're here. Is that a fog wall from Dark Souls? Well, technically this is a fog wall from Wizardry because it came out in 1981 and Dark Souls came out in 2000 and something. But yeah, it's a fog wall. You're hard-pressed to find a way to make Abaddon more evil than Scar. Maybe a different kind of evil. Have we identified these monsters before? I don't think so. Let's identify them now. If we can. Oh, we did get new... Valen observed new details. So we should have more details about the slimes now. That was a weird delay. Probably just my computer going slow or something. Yeah, you get very little experience for fighting slimes. I might just run away from them in the future. Alright, let's start exploring these doors. Okay, it's not a one-way, so that's good. What secrets hide in this maze? What treasures? That's not a one-way, so we're still pretty good. Oh, we got 5 orcs. We surprised them. That's good. We can jump out. Dark Souls 1 is from 2011. Oh, cool. What about Demon Souls? I played Demon Souls when it originally came out. It just like changed my life. It completely changed like how I play all other games. I would love to do a Demon Souls stream at some point in the future, but I actually don't have a PS5 yet. I'm still using a PS4. All right, so our inspection chance is not great, but there was no trap, so we're good to go. An extra 40 gold. We still haven't found any items in any chests yet. Snake oil salesman priest. That's a good backstory for Abaddon. Do a credit scam as a side job. Mavtato says, your name is said Mavte. Mavtato. I mixed my name Maverick with the word potato as a kid and just ended up using it on everything online. Demon Souls is from 2009. Yeah, so Demon Souls was... So all of the games that people give credit, like if people say like this game was influenced by Dark Souls, what they really mean is that this game was influenced by Demon Souls, because Demon Souls predates Dark Souls. Oh, I know why it's going slower. It's because I haven't fully identified the slimes yet. So it looks like the slimes have a very small amount of HP. Not great armor class, I think. It's actually, yeah, their armor class is higher. So look, this is the weird thing, right? So their armor class is higher than orcs. They have similar HP, but they give way less experience, like significantly less experience. They give around like a quarter of the same experience as an orc, despite the fact that they have similar combat stats. Hold on a second. Does Reg have any good spells we can cast? We could do Dilto to reduce their AC. The thing I really like about Dilto is that it doesn't wear off. So if you don't know what AC is, basically like old tabletop games had this system for hitting or missing attacks called armor class. A higher armor class is actually worse, and a lower armor class is actually better in these older systems. So when we add +2 to their armor class, it actually makes them easier to hit, which actually, now that I said that, that actually means that these slimes are easier to hit than the orcs. But even still, they have similar HP. I'm surprised that they give so much less experience. Yeah, higher is worse. This is based on THAC0 to hit armor class 0, which is the system from the original. It's definitely from Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. Had THAC0. Alright, I'd like to find a chest with an item in it. So far, we've only found chests with gold, which is, I mean, nice. Oh, hold on a second. I think I just noticed a secret door. Should we go through it? Yes. Because I'm feeling adventurous. Okay, it's not a one-way. There's no other secret doors. So it's just the secret door that just leads to a small one-tile room. There's another one here. Interesting. So there's like a bunch of little secret doors. In this room is a silver statue of a boar with horns and long fangs. On the wall by the statue is a message, partially obscured, that appears to have been left by passing elves. It is hardly legible, but some comments warning about ghosts and demons can still be made out. Oh! Some kobolds just attacked us while we were reading. Yeah, the helmet gives -1, but the penalty spell gives +2 to the enemies. Yeah, you're right. I was just had a brain lapse. By the way, Silvara has spells, even though she's in the front row, but we'll just have her keep attacking. Yeah, I actually do like Dilto just because of the fact that there's not that many other good tier 2 spells. So, like, there's no opportunity cost, because when you cast Dilto, it's just taking away tier 2 spell points, which you wouldn't use for anything else. It looks like most of the kobolds just ran away. Hopefully we can kill this one before it escapes, because I'd like to get some experience. Nope. It's kind of funny that enemies like run away a lot and you don't get experience when they run away, which makes sense. I mean, we found a silver key. Cool. All right, let's head back. Oh, let's cast. I want to cast something else while we're here. Let me see if Silvara has it. No, we don't have any Millwalk casters yet. Once we get Milwa, I'll show how it works. Typically, when you cast Milwa, it increases the draw distance in the map, so we could see like all the way down to the end of this passageway. I think that's a good short little excursion. Oops, 3 more slimes. You said Ellery is too much of a gamer. Yes, we had 1 death at the start of the stream. It was hilarious. Scar tried to identify a treasure chest, and he thought it was a crossbow trap, and he was right, but he failed to disarm it, and the crossbow just shot out and killed him, which was pretty fun. We actually haven't had any other deaths so far, which was a little bit surprising, especially because we walked through a one-way door, which led us to a series of teleporter traps and darkness traps. We were basically running around in a Scooby-Doo style maze for like 15 to 30 minutes without any chance to go back to town and rest. And somehow we got back out alive. Alright, nobody's ready to level up yet. Let's check these nearby rooms. These rooms that are near the exit. So maybe we can get a little experience and maybe level up Silvara. Yeah, this will be good. We can get some experience here. Kuro-sama, if you want to submit a character, let me know here in chat. Even if you already wrote it down in the community post or the Reddit thread, I'm prioritizing chat before those threads. So make sure you let me know in chat. That way I know which character you want me to add to the group. And if you don't want to add any characters, if you just want to lurk, that's fine too. I want to start inspecting these slimes. I also forgot we actually have 2 casters with us now. Let's just go ahead and Catino these guys too while we're here, since we have 2 casters. Yeah, Catino usually doesn't work on slimes, unfortunately. And the orcs are mostly going to run away. I wanted to kill the orcs before they run away so we can get some experience. Alright. Let's go for the orcs. I want to get this orc before he runs away. I'm just going to start shooting Halito at the slimes so I can get rid of them. Alright, we killed the orc. Now I do have it set like the original Wizardry, where if we have, like, let's say I have all of my fighters attack the orc, and then the orc dies, my other fighters will just waste their turn. They won't automatically reassign to attack the slimes. This is it's a little bit different from how a lot of newer games work. Like in a lot of newer games, if you killed the orc, your next fighter would just automatically attack the slime. I don't like that. I like the old system. Alright, so we got another trapped chest. You're 70% sure that there's no trap. I'm going to try to disarm a stunner, just in case it's a stunner trap. Okay, there was no trap there. 100 gold. Nice. Unfortunately, we still haven't got another level up. Let me go check the other room near the staircase. Kurosama, you have submitted Filru the Human Mage. You wouldn't mind her being a wizard either for diversity. So far, we haven't really needed our wizards, so I'll go ahead and make you a mage. That's fine. More slimes. Oh, Silvara's ready to level up. Okay, cool. We can head back after we check this room. This is like borderline, a little bit grindy, but we are making progress. We discovered some things. And we're potentially going to find another treasure chest through this door. 3 more slimes. I really prefer fighting orcs over slimes, just for the experience difference. Maybe slimes give more gold. That could be true. I'm actually not sure about that. The panel doesn't say. Yeah, we'll do Filru as a mage. Alright. 70% sure that it's a Blades trap. The thing is, I don't think Blades traps actually spawn on floor 1. However, I'm not going to metagame. So if they think it's a Blades trap, I'm just going to believe what they think. It looks like they were actually correct, so I guess maybe Blades traps do spawn on level 1, so I was actually wrong anyway about my metagaming. So Valen just disarmed their first trap. That was fun. I'm going to go to Silvara and have her heal before we leave the dungeon. That way when we level up, we'll level up on full HP. Would I ever do Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey or Etrian Odyssey? It feels really good to see these types of games. So first of all, Etrian Odyssey is just like one of my favorite game series of all time. Like, as much as I love Wizardry, I completely acknowledge that Etrian Odyssey essentially took the Wizardry formula and optimized it and made it like as good as it could possibly be. Like, as good as Wizardry is, as much as I love Wizardry, Etrian Odyssey blows it out of the water. It's like the same thing, but just like 1,000 times better. It's so good. I would love to play any Etrian Odyssey game on stream at some point in time. It would be a little bit different from this though, because I'm not going to be like switching out characters. I would just use a fixed party if I was playing Etrian Odyssey. The only problem is that I've played every Etrian Odyssey game like to death at this point. So I don't really know if it would be that fun for me to just like, play an Etrian Odyssey game for like the sixth time on stream, if that makes sense. Like, it just wouldn't be that entertaining to watch, probably. I'm not sure, but my suspicion is that it wouldn't really be that interesting to watch. Okay, we're gonna level up Silvara. She got 2 HP. She got the Kalki spell. I think Kalki is an armor spell, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of good stat points. Unfortunately, she lost strength. That's gonna hurt her ability to be a frontline fighter. Frontline cleric, but that's fine. Valen doesn't need to rest. Reg needs to get rest to get back his spell slots. And Pen needs to rest to get back his spell slots. Alright, while we're here, I'm going to visit the training grounds, excuse me. You think Strange Journey is a great game? So I haven't played Strange Journey before, so like that could potentially be more fun. Strange Journey could be more fun. Because I haven't played it before, it would be good to show off a game that I haven't played before. Labyrinth of Refrain I have played, and I actually don't really... So Labyrinth of Refrain, I will praise it on one point. The dungeon design is phenomenal. Like, the dungeon design in Labyrinth of Refrain is incredible. Every floor of the dungeon has unique mechanics. They have like multi-floor exploration that actually feels good and feels intuitive. It doesn't feel like you're just getting dropped around like into random pits or teleported into random spaces. Like, it actually uses the verticality of a 2D dungeon, which is just like mind-blowing that the devs were able to do that. Like, you actually go like downstairs, you go through a passage, you go upstairs, and you understand where you are in the dungeon while you do that. And then there's like cool mechanics, like you get a tool that helps you bust down walls. Like, that's so fun. Now, the downside of Labyrinth of Refrain is that the game, like the combat mechanics are pretty bad. They're like D tier. They're just not that fun. So I probably wouldn't have a lot of fun playing it on stream. But I will say, if you like dungeon crawlers, you should absolutely check out Labyrinth of Refrain. As long as you're willing to just like spam the attack button, because the combat's not that interesting. The dungeon design is S tier. It's just top tier. Like, it is worth playing that game just for the sake of how fun it is to explore the dungeons. Reg says Strange Journey is great, and it's definitely up Ellery's alley in this style of dungeon crawler. Yeah, I would love to play Strange Journey. Do I have my own character here? Yes. I created a character at the start of before the stream started. His name is Backseat Greg. He has no experience exploring any real dungeons, but he feels very qualified to give everyone else advice on how they should be exploring the dungeon. We actually did send him in, and he did okay. He survived his first exploration. He got 350 experience. He's a little backseater. He's a fun little character that I created. Alright, so we'll do Kurosama's character now, which is going to be Filru, the human mage. I'm going to roll your stats now. 8 stat points, that's pretty expected. 11 intellect is fine for a human mage. Should we think about the potential to reclass them later into a fighter? Yes. I feel pretty good about that potential. With that in mind, I'm going to max out your intellect. And you said you did want it to be a female character. So I like this portrait right here. Filru. Alright. Let's think about... So we've done a little bit of like testing around, like using different characters and sending everyone into the dungeon. Let's think about like long-term goals. Like, what's a good long-term goal? Like, I think we should probably... I think we can bench Mavtado for a little bit.
and bring them back later if we need like a really strong character to help recover dead bodies and things like that. I want to think about like like if we didn't get the god roll, the plus 29 stat roll on Mavtado, like what would a normal party look like? So first of all, between thieves, so we don't really have a good long-term thief. So probably we should just pick our thief with the best agility and luck. So that's going to be Burrito. For priests, I feel like our best long-term priest is probably either Silvara, Abaddon. Gosh, they're all good actually. Silvara, Abaddon, and Ulrich are all pretty good long-term priests. I'm gonna go with Abaddon because he's the only one who's still level 1. So I think we could do is get Silvara, Abaddon, and Ulrich all up to level 2, and then we'll think about like what to do with our priests once we see what all of their level 2 builds look like. It's also cool that they all have different races. So we have a gnome, a human, a gnome, an elf, and a dwarf. Oh yeah, so sorry, Abaddon's probably not the best long-term priest, to be honest. Unless we want to reclass them into mage, which was I can't remember if that was suggested or not. Do we have another one? Oh yeah, no, for priest we don't. We only have 2. I think somebody suggested they wanted to do mage into priest. Priest into mage we could do with Abaddon maybe later. If that's the case, if I'm not going to do that, let's send Ulrich. He hasn't been back in a while. Next, I want to think about our mage. So we've got our thief, we've got our priest. Now let's think about our mage. I want to think about a good long-term project mage. So a good long-term project mage would probably be someone like Filru or Splarfus. Because Kuro's here right now, I'll use Filru. We'll start training Filru. Reg is a little bit interesting because we could reclass Reg into a thief later. We could even reclass Reg into a thief right now, but that's not the best idea. I would want to get a few more spells on them first. Let's level up Filru a little bit, and then let's look at our fighters. So I want to have 3 fighters. So who are our best fighters? Honestly, we should probably bring our best fighters and just like keep leveling them up. So let's bring Chris, Passamon, and Pizza's a little wonky because he's a gnome, but he's actually like really strong. He's got 9 kills. Aurelius got 9 kills. Gargamax is the only one who hasn't been in yet. Am I crazy, or was Gargamax supposed to be a thief? I can't remember now. Backseat Greg. You think I should play Strange Journey Redux? I'll have to look into it. I mean, I'm probably not going to play any other games for a while. Mavtado, you're not exactly on the bench, but it's just, you know, we're rotating out the characters. Alright, who should we use for our last fighter, I'm wondering? Let's look at their stats. Who has the best agility and strength? Honestly, we don't have any with good agility, so the best strength is Pizza. So let's use Pizza in that case. Alright. We're going to change our positions. We're going to do Chris. It's actually not letting me change their positions. Oh, I have to use this weird button. Okay, hold on. So we're going to put Ulrich here. We're going to put Filru in the back of the party. We're going to put Pizza in the front. Okay, interesting. I have to use the D-pad to rearrange my characters, which feels a little bit wonky, but it's fine. We're going to put Pizza up front. Chris up front. Okay. So Ulrich wants to be in this position. Yeah, this is fine. Passamon, Pizza, Chris, Ulrich, Burrito, Filru. These are characters that I think all 6 of these characters are worth training, even if just to see what their first level up looks like, and if they get any useful spells. I'm not going to buy any items yet. I'm going to try to save a little bit of gold. Yeah, I think I messed up on Gargamax. Sorry about that. Alright. So now we can go back to doing what I was trying to do before, which is to explore these doors over here. So we got this one. Oops. Chris, you need rest. Oh yeah, we've got to rest the party. Oh, this is going to be bad too. We should be fine. Filru has no spells. Am I crazy or did I not make them a mage? Oh, you know what it is? They probably have no combat spells. They probably got utility spells only, maybe? I'm not sure. This is pretty interesting. I'm wondering what happened with Filru. Alright, let's try to win this combat without losing anybody, and then we'll go back to town and rest our characters so we get our spell slots back. You love the portrait of Burrito? You think I nailed it? Okay, the orc's running away. That helps us a lot. Passamon's here. You just realized that I put an extra S on the name. It's okay. Let's go team. Hey, I'm doing my best over here. I've messed up a lot of things so far. Alright, we're going to have to go back to town. Oops. Alright, go back. Here's our little nook that leads back to town. Yeah, let's make sure we actually arrest our characters and get our spell slots back. That would be a good idea. I think even Ulrich doesn't actually have a spell slot right now to cast Dios. Yeah, he doesn't even... I can't even cast Dios to heal. Alright, let's see what's going on with Filru. She's supposed to have spells. She has Halito and Catino. Oh, she couldn't cast because it was a surprise round. I got it. Of course, I'm a fool. The idea of a pizza burrito sounds both criminal and delicious. Oops. We'll just rest all of our characters. It's fine. You usually don't really want to rest your certain characters. What happened? Oh, I think Chris leveled up and I skipped over it. I'm sorry. Ulrich's leveling up. Vitality, agility, they're losing luck. That's okay. They got a lot of spells. They got Matu, Manifo, and Montino. That's great. Ulrich's looking really strong. We'll rest all of our characters this time. Alright, so let's see what the deal is with Chris now after they leveled up. Okay, so we should have all of our spell slots now. Genuinely, you would try one? It's interesting. I would probably get sick if I tried to eat one, so it might not be the best idea for me. No, not Phil, Chris. Yeah, Chris is now a level 3... No, that's not right. They didn't level up. Because they're still very close to leveling up. So Chris looks fine. Let's look at Ulrich. And let's look at his new spells, because he just got a bunch of new spells. So first of all, okay, yeah, so Porphic is a defensive spell. We also have Milwa, which is a light spell. Oh, and it does... Okay, so when you have Milwa active, you can see secret doors. So that will help us. And that'll help us find secret doors. That's good to know. Okay, so Matu gives a bonus to the entire party during combat, which can help a lot to avoid taking damage. An AC bonus. The other really good thing is that you can actually stack Matu. So unlike Mage, I talked about how Mage doesn't have any good tier 2 spells. Priest actually has a lot of good tier 2 spells. Matu is one of them. If you have enough spell points, you can just repeatedly cast Matu and keep lowering your armor class so that enemies are basically incapable of hitting you. Like you can drop it by 2 points and then drop it by 2 more points and then drop it by 2 more points. You can eventually have like -6 armor class. It's great. Manifo is basically like a Catino spell. However, I'm pretty sure it hits enemies that are... Excuse me, hold on a second. We talked about how slimes are resistant to Catino because they don't sleep. Manifo does work on slimes. Even though they resist sleep, they can still be... which Manifo is actually statue. It's actually a petrify spell. It says sleep, but it's actually a petrify spell. And then Montino blocks monsters from casting spells, which is extremely useful to be able to do because some of the most dangerous monsters are enemy spellcasters. So like all of the tier 2 spells are actually pretty good. You're happy that Ulrich is turning out good? Excuse me again. Yeah, Ulrich looks pretty good. The fact that he's a fighter, a dwarf actually works to our advantage too because we can potentially reclass him into a fighter later on. He'll have really good strength and vitality. Although I won't be happy about his low vitality score. Or sorry, his low agility score. I am going to cast Milwa
while we're here. So I'm showing this off for the first time. In fact, let me close the menu first. So do you see how dark the passageways are right now? Once you start playing with Milwa, it's really difficult to play without Milwa because it makes such a huge difference. In the older games, it makes a huge difference. In this game, I mean, I can see more, but it's not that big of a difference. In the older games, Milwa makes a huge difference. It's almost like impossible to see without Milwa. We can also Dispel Undead here. Dispel Undead is also level-based, so now that Ulrich is level 3, his Dispel chance has gone up massively. He's going to be much better at dispelling enemies. We can potentially even dispel that enemy ghost, the weird boss monster that we encountered. Alright, it looks like there's no secret doors in this tunnel. Oh, Milwa also lasts for a very short time. We really need to get to tier 3 spells so we can get low Milwa. 2 enemy rogues here. The rogues usually run away, so let's just try to kill them before they run. And get enemy data on them. Nice. Yeah, we have like no information on them. Ooh, nice kill. Looks like Chris got that kill. Nice kill. It looks like Pizza got that kill. Chris should level up after this battle. They were very close. Ooh, we got a chest. We actually found a chest while wandering in passageways. Alright, we're gonna have Burrito inspect the chest. Yeah, see, this is why high agility and high luck are so important. This 95% chance is so much better than a 66% chance. No trap. Got 60 gold. We will find a chest with items in it at some point in the future. Believe it. Orcs. Oh, Chris is ready to level up. Okay. So Ulrich, like for example here, we can have Ulrich cast Matu on our party. This is going to make Passamon, Pizza, and Chris all more difficult for the enemies to hit. We can also have Filru cast Catino. Now we don't need to waste all of our spells. This is kind of a little bit of a waste of our buff spell, but I'm just doing it just to show it off because this is the first time we got a chance to cast it. Yeah, so all of our characters now have a much lower armor class. You can actually cast it again and keep stacking it. We're not going to do that to fight 2 orcs, but this is going to contribute to our characters like not taking damage, which allows us to explore for longer so that we don't have to keep going back to town constantly. Ooh, we got another chest. Now, if I remember correctly, and I'm going to open up the mechanics page, there's a really good page called Data Driven Gamer. They did a deep dive on the original mechanics from the Apple II, and as far as I know, the mechanics here should be the same. So, the chance to inspect traps is agility times 6. And the max is 95. So if you divide 95 by 6, you get a number which is 15.8. This means if you have at least 16 agility, you'll always have the max chance to identify traps. The next is for disarming traps. That is somewhat adjusted by the maze level. I thought there was a bonus from luck. I'm not seeing the luck influence. It actually looks like it's just level based. Why did I think it was luck based? Oh, luck helps you resist traps. So if you fail to disarm a trap, yeah, that's what it is. If you fail to disarm a trap and it goes off, a higher luck stat will make it so that the trap is less likely to poison you, less likely to paralyze you, because you have a chance to resist the paralysis and the poison. I don't know why it was so difficult for me to explain that. I'm not going to cast Milwa because I want to cast Dios when we go back to town. There's definitely a secret door over here. Oh, there's actually 2 secret doors here. Empty. And maybe another statue in here? No, another empty one. It's fine. We're discovering new things. I kind of want to see if there's other secret doors that I'm not discovering. Oh, there's undead kobolds here. Yeah, you can't stop a crossbow bolt with luck. That's true. I'm actually surprised.
I was fairly certain that luck influenced the chance to disarm traps, but I guess I was wrong about that. It is just level. Which, again, just goes back to my point that stats are not really that big of a deal in this game. Your level is, like, the most important thing. Secret doors behind secret doors. Well, I mean, the Scooby-Doo maze that we got trapped in earlier was just like a series of secret doors connected to each other, which is always fun. Alright, let's check the walls in here for secret doors. Oh, you think there was a secret door behind one of these secret doors. Alright, well, I mean, there's no downside to going back and checking. Not one in here. Maybe there was one in here that I didn't see. No, there wasn't one in here. No worries. It takes 10 seconds to backtrack. Plus, we could have gotten another encounter. Was there one here? There is one here. I'm finding a lot of secret doors. It's actually a double. It's a nice little change of pace. Instead of putting two secret doors side by side, they put one secret door with like a wider passage behind it. I'll try to cast Duma Pick again soon, so we can get another update on what the maze currently looks like. You really like kobolds? They've been updated, and like I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong about this, but I think like back in the old days, kobolds used to just be like rats. And then in like newer Dungeons and Dragons, they changed it so that they're like descended from dragons. I know people probably know about them like being descended from dragons because that's like the modern lore that everybody knows. But I don't know if people really, if I'm correct or wrong about them just like being rats originally and that being changed later, or if they were always descended from dragons. Alright, let's go back and level up our characters, because we have 2 characters ready to level up. And we can potentially bring a Dumapic user with us when we come back. Yeah, they used to just be rats. You think they're cute? That's a really interesting take. I don't think I've heard many people say that kobolds are cute. Alright, let's have Ulrich heal our characters back up. I'm going to use Dios. No, I don't think Filru has Dumapic. Yeah, they don't. How close are they to level up? Not that close either. Marceo says they spread like rats. Wizardry lean more into that. D&D went on with like the lizard. Yeah, lizard. Yeah. Like dragon descendants, like lizards. All right, we're gonna rest. We're gonna level up Passamon. He got strength, piety, vitality, and luck. Agility went down. That's not great, but it's not a huge deal. Like low agility won't matter until it goes all the way down to like I think. In fact, hold on. I have Data Driven Gamers website open right now. So there's something about turn order here. I gotta find it. Agility. No, that's aging. Status. Help me find agility. Level. Saving throws, luck, agility. Here it is. Yeah, so your agility has to go all the way down to 5 before it makes a difference. Or 7. So the agility breakpoints are 6, 8, and 15. So like if you're anywhere between 8 and 15, it like doesn't really matter. So we're getting a little bit close to 8, but it's not that big of a deal. Okay. Chris is also ready to level up. Much better level up there. All stats went up. And they got a lot of HP. That's good. Ulrich and Filru need to rest to get back their spell slots. Let's investigate Ulrich. I want to think about when we're going to reclass Ulrich. Right now he has some pretty good spells, but not really like all of the like best utility spells. I think we want to at least get access to the 3rd circle before we would consider reclassing him. Potentially even the 4th circle if he levels up enough. Right now it doesn't seem like we're going to have any characters die. You know what? That's a little arrogant to say that. There's if I say that, it's going to cause we're going to run into like a series of traps and characters are going to start dying soon. Which reminds me, as soon as Filru gets Doom Epic, I think I want to go on. So my goal right now, I want to level up this party until Filru gets Doom Epic, and then we're going to go on like an actual adventure. We're going to go exploring, and we're going to use Doom Epic to try and like figure out where we're going and try to like find things that we haven't found before. Until then, I'm just going to continue checking these passages that we already know where they are. We got kobolds. It looks like these might be more of the lizard type than the dragon type. We actually don't have all the information on kobolds yet, so let's inspect them. Dios, the plural of Dio. Are you facing Dio? Zawardo. Dios is just like the healing spell. You think it's Spanish for God. God is a JoJo. Does that mean life is a JoJo reference? Yeah, I never really thought about the fact that the healing spell in this game is called Dio, just because, you know, once again, I've known about this game way longer than I've known about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Although JoJo's is actually also one of those things that's been around for a very long time. I'm actually interested to know if it came out before 1981 or not. Now there might be a secret door somewhere in here, given the layout of the other room. Yes. Oh, bubbly slimes. Pizza's ready to level up. We really need Filru to level up and hopefully get Doom Epic. Surprised by the monsters. We can just spam attacks against slimes. They're not really that dangerous. I don't know exactly how long I'm going to stream today. I know that I want to make something to eat after I finish streaming and before I go to bed. So I can't stream for too long. But I would really like to accomplish this goal of at least getting Doom Epic onto Filru. We've kind of like gone through, we've looked at each of our other characters. We got like ideas of what all of our different builds are going to look like in the long term. I might even go back and just like create a bunch of characters from the Reddit and the community thread before I end the stream. But before that, I really would like to get Filru at least to level 2 or 3, hopefully get Doom Epic. Speaking of Filru, let's have them cast Catino against these kobolds. This will help prevent them from running away. They're running away anyway. Oh well. This one is asleep, so we can just take him out. 10 damage, nice. Yeah, you deal a ton of damage against sleeping enemies, especially once we get multi-attacks. By the way, Passamon is only 1 level away from getting multi-attack. That is going to be a huge power spike, I'll show you. So Passamon is at 34,061 experience. They need 5124. By the way, yes, I do have my calculator sitting in my lap right now. I just always have my calculator sitting in my lap. He only needs 1,600 more experience before he gets level 5 fighter, which is when he gets multi-attack. Multi-attack is an absolute game changer. Like, in fact, let me open up Passamon's stats again. So let's look at Passamon. He has +2 damage because of his strength score. He has +2 damage, and his longsword does 1d8. So his attacks right now are dealing 3 to 10 damage. So he can hit for 3 to 10 damage, which is 6.5 damage on average. Once he gets multi-attack, he's going to be hitting for between 6 and 20 damage, which is going to be 13 damage on average. I mean, it doubles his damage. It doubles his damage output. It's a double attack, obviously. But the good thing is also, it's not even just that it doubles it, but since you're making 2 attacks, if 1 attack misses and 1 attack hits, this is better than just making 1 attack, and then if it just misses, like, everything's over. 2 undead kobolds, we can dispel these fellows. Hey, Andika Fatwan. Thanks for stopping by. You're late. Do you want to create a character sometime before the end of the stream? If you tell me which character, race, and class you want, I will add them when we go back to town. And don't worry about being late. JoJo's is 1987, so yeah, this game even predates JoJo's. So maybe Dio was named after Dios from this spell. Alright. We got an awesome Thief. I love the fact that we have a 95% chance Thief. The scary thing is that even a 95% can sometimes be wrong. So there's always a small chance of the traps going off and killing you. Oh, 5 more Undead Kobolds. This is good. I love fighting Undead Kobolds because of how strong this spell is. And also, it allows Ulrich to basically attack from the back line. We do need to investigate these guys, so let's go ahead and inspect them now. Oh my god, that was an awesome Dispel. Ulrich just wiped out 4 kobolds with a single action. That was crazy. That was unbelievable. This is why level matters. This is why level matters. Like, being level 4 just makes his Dispel so much stronger. Yeah, Burrito's really lucky. Yeah, it's basically like a critical fail, like rolling a 1 on a d20 chance. I actually, like, in tabletop gaming, I'm actually not really a fan of that because I think it makes the game less fun for the players. But in games like this, like in computer games, I really like the 5% failure chance. It just adds to the story of the game. It always makes it so there's just like a small chance of something going wrong. Like, you can never just mash the attack button and rest on your laurels. I'm a little bit unsure about how to get back to... Okay, I think I know where we are. So there's a couple secret doors here. Ooh, 5 orcs. Ooh, we got surprised too. They're attacking Passamon and Chris, and Passamon just blocked 3 attacks like an absolute Chad. Filru is ready to level up, so we can head back to town soon. We just have to spam through these encounters. I will check the other door while we're here, just because it's gonna make it so that we don't have to backtrack all the way back to this area again, just to check one door. Plus, if Filru gets enough experience, they could even possibly level up twice. Alright, we're gonna inspect. Yeah, having a good thief. Ooh, we got a splinters trap, and we disarmed it. I saw that this one was a secret door, too. 4 undead kobolds. Nice. Dude, please give me more undead kobolds. This spell undead is really strong in Wizardry 1, because there's a lot of undead enemies in this game. Like in Wiz 3, interestingly, there's really not... I was playing... Before this, the last Wizardry I played was Wizardry 3. And in Wizardry 3, there's actually not really that many undead enemies, especially not at the start of the game. Okay, 95% chance, so we have a 5% chance to get hit by a poison needle. If we do, Burrito's dead. Oh, and it was a stunner. That's even worse. This is basically RIP Burrito. The paralysis condition does not clear in this game. Like, once a character is paralyzed, they are paralyzed forever. This is like I took an arrow to the knee and had to retire from adventuring. Like, Ulrich, we should visit the Temple of Cant back in town to see if they can restore our afflicted. No, we're not going to do that. I think we just lost Burrito, guys. I think we lost him. Unless Ulrich can heal him. If Ulrich can heal him, I will have Ulrich heal him. But otherwise, I'm very committed to this Iron Man style of play, where if a character goes down, I think we should leave them down. And like I said, paralysis is a permanent status condition. So Burrito is effectively... maybe if he levels up, it will clear the condition. If that happens, I'll accept that. That's actually kind of a fun little story of its own. But I like the idea that he got hit by a trap that's like so devastating that it essentially permanently paralyzed him. He can't adventure anymore. Like, in his current condition, he can't go on any more adventures unless we use like a miracle to heal him, which I'm gonna say we can't do that unless we get to the point where our like Ulrich or somebody else is capable of healing him. It is sad, obviously, to lose a character, but if there was no risk of ever losing any characters, the game would be a lot less fun to me. Alright, we're going to Dios on Pizza. And we're going to... Nope, I'm spamming Dios on characters who don't need it. Dios on Passamon. And we're going to Dios on Chris, and hopefully heal Chris back up to full. Yes, we got a full heal. People are giving RIPs for Burrito. Burrito's going to get eaten. Poor Burrito. You remember reading a playthrough where paralysis was crazy bad? Yeah, it's pretty much a permanent It's almost as bad as permadeath. It's not technically as bad because it's cheaper and easier to cure than death, but it's typically not worth like paying, especially at the start of the game. So here's the thing: at the start of the game, it's not worth paying money to cure paralysis when you can just make a new thief. And later in the game, it's not worth paying money to cure paralysis because you can just have your own cleric heal it for you. So in a way, like using the Temple of Cant usually is not like the best move. Now I believe Burrito will automatically be removed from the party when we... Okay, no, so it doesn't work that way in this game. In the original game, Burrito would be immediately removed from the party when we go back to town, I'm pretty sure. Is Burrito going to be quadriplegic? Maybe. We're going to see. So there is one chance. There is one chance to save Burrito. If leveling up cures the paralysis condition, we're going to say that he, recovered from his paralysis and was able to go on more quests. If this does not cure it, then he's basically permanently gone. Only the Temple of Cant can help Burrito. Yeah, he's permanently down. All right, let me think about, first of all, who submitted Burrito? Do I even remember that at this point? That was a long time ago, guys. I'm sorry. Let me see. Burrito. I see Mavtato. Gargamax. Passamon, I see. Here we go. Gianni was the creator of Burrito. Is Gianni still here? Yeah, Burrito. So Gianni, let me know if you would prefer. I can do one of two things. I can leave Burrito in the behind. I can leave Burrito in town, and then later on we can cure them with paralysis, or I can retire Burrito and you can create a new character. So let me know if Gianni wants to make a new character, and Pram the Oracle, if you want to create a character, just let me know name, race, and class, and I will make them now. While you guys are submitting that information, I will level up Pizza, and I will level up Filru. So first is Pizza. Oh, a full level up, a god level up, and plus 8 HP. I think this is the max level up. I'm pretty sure this is the max level up. They got plus 8 HP. That's the max for a fighter. I think it might be 10, but then they also got +1 to every stat. Pizza's going to be hitting like a truck with that 18 strength. And 21 HP, they're going to be nice and tanky too. Alright, we'll rest Ulrich so they can get back their spell slots. Then we're going to level up Filru, and we're really going to pray that we get Doom Epic. We got Doom Epic, yes. Okay, we can go on an adventure now. We can go on a real quest now. Now the only thing I'm worried about with Filru is that I'm not sure how we're going to reclass her later, because none of her stats are high enough. If we can get her up to 11 agility, we can reclass her into a thief later, which would be great. She would make a great utility thief. She also got +2 HP, which is something. You do want to cure Burrito. Okay, so what we're going to do then, we're going to remove Burrito from the party, and then later on, if we get a priest to a high enough level, we will cure Burrito and bring them back off the bench, which would be fun. I haven't seen anything from Pram or anyone else who wanted to create new characters, so I'm going to go to the community post and see if I missed anybody yet. So on the community post, I got Splarthus already, I got Valen already, we got Silvara already, we got Ulrich already. Ulrich is in the party right now. We got Mavtato already. We got Gargamax on the team, which I completely screwed up. Gargamax. Gargamax was supposed to be a thief whose whole gimmick was that he tried to be a fighter and he failed. And then I made him into a fighter because I'm a buffoon. Passamon we got already. Filru we got already. And Burrito we got already. So I've actually got all the characters from the community post already done. So let's go through the Reddit thread now, because a lot of people in the Reddit thread actually left like longer posts with explanations about what they wanted their characters to be. So first of all, we have Rusty, a human knight with minimal intelligence. I'm going to roll his stat points now. So he's got 8 stat points. Okay. So 8, he wanted 1 intelligence. We can't do 1 intelligence. 8 is actually the minimum. But what stat points do I want to give him? Because he's probably going to stay in the fighter class forever, I think it's a good idea to give him a balance of both strength and vitality. So right now he actually has pretty much all average stats. He's not actually getting any bonus stats, but in a few level ups, he could potentially reach 16 strength or 16 vitality. It's a long shot, but this is the best chance that Rusty has to become viable. I don't think we've used this portrait yet. We got our first character with dreads. Alright. I did Pen already. I did Andrew already. Or I did Red Mongoose' other character. We did Enjank's character. We have Bouncer wanted to create a elf priest, and if he survives long enough, they wanted to multi-class into mage. Oh, my roster's actually full. Oh, sad. There's actually a limit on the roster. Okay, so we are going to have to delete Scar so we can make room on the roster. I'm not going to delete anyone else. So unfortunately, I can't make any more... I can make one character right now from the Reddit thread, but I'd actually prefer to leave an empty character slot. That way, if anybody in chat wants me to make a character, I can make a character for chat. Like, for example, Pram just said they wanted to make a dwarf bishop named Polo. No, we don't need any more thieves. We actually have a lot of thieves. So yeah, let's go dwarf. I'm going to roll your stats now. 9 stat points. So we should be able to get you to bishop. Yeah, they need 12, 12. They have just enough to get to bishop, which is fine. And then I'm going to boost their agility. Let me go back to Data-Driven Gamer, because I want to see. The agility benchmarks were 6 and 7. I'm going to do 7 agility, just so that if it drops by 1 point, we'll still have neutral agility instead of negative agility. And then we need to make them a bishop, so they need to be evil. And they are a dwarf. Which one of these looks like a Polo? Or Poyo? I'm gonna go with this one. I like the cool scar. Oh no, I like this beard. This is our Poyo. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be Polo or Poyo. I'm saying Poyo because I don't know, it's just natural. Yeah, we had to remove Scar from the roster to make room for more characters, but it is what it is. Alright, so here's the thing. Because Burrito got paralyzed, we can't bring them with us for the time being. So we're going to have to bring a different thief with us. But we have a couple backup thieves. We have Yeti Man and we have Valen. Looks like Yeti Man is our best backup thief. So we're going to bring Yeti Man. I'm going to switch the positions of Filru and Yeti Man. This looks good. Alright, everything looks good to me. Before we leave, I'm going to go to Boltak's trading post, and I'm going to buy some good armor and weapons for our characters who don't already have it. So first of all, I want to sell the gear that we looted off of the other character. Alright, go back to buy. Okay, so pass them on. I don't think there's any, like, yeah, there's not, like, anything in the shop that you can actually buy that's better than the longsword that you start with. As for armor, though, I think there's options. Okay, so we could actually buy plate mail for a couple of our fighters. Let's start with cheaper armor and just work our way up. So we'll start with breastplate. Equip. Pizza needs a breastplate. We'll buy it. We'll equip. Chris has a breastplate. They're fine. Ulrich. I'm going to wait to upgrade the armor on my backline characters. I will give him... Is it worth spending 150 on a flail when he's probably never going to go into the front row? Nah. Yeti Man has a short sword already. And Filru doesn't need a better weapon or staff. Alright, so let's go back up here. So we got the best armor on all of our fighters. Now shields. I believe they all started with large shields. Now let's make sure they all have helmets. Pizza has a helmet already. Chris needs a helmet. We're gonna equip that. Ulrich cannot equip the helmet. Can they equip a better shield? No, they already start with the shield. That's the best. Okay. Next, we're gonna check gloves. Okay, copper gloves are 6,000, so we cannot afford those. Belts or accessories, we don't have any available. Antidotes. or Dios or Badios potions. It would be good if they had a scroll for curing paralysis, but we don't have that. I don't think it's worth 300 gold to save somebody's life, as cutthroat as that sounds. Let me go here. I'm going to sell our excess items. Alright, we're going to do at least one more excursion into the maze, and then I might end the stream after this. Yeah, that's an awesome beard for Pollo. Hey Marco, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, you just caught the end of the stream. The archive is going to be up for a while, so feel free to watch the archive later. We're doing one more adventure. We just got Doom Epic onto Filru, which means we can explore around a little bit and actually have like a good chance of, having an idea of where we're going and what we're trying to do. So what I want to do is head into this dark area. Now there should be a wall here, and then if we go right, left, left, no, left. Here we go, here. There's a little gap here, and there should be a wall here. No, there's not a wall. Interesting, okay. I have to use Doom Epic now because I have no idea. I have no idea where I am. So we're going to cast Doom Epic and try to find out where we are. Okay, yes. Okay, so I was right about where I was. So let me bring up the cursor. So this area right here, we knew that there was a gap here, but we didn't know what was through it. So it looks like what happened was that I went through the gap and walked around the corner into a dead end. So if we back up and then go right, we should be able to go through this passage here, which might lead us to somewhere that we haven't been before. So I'm going to back up as much as I can. And then I'm going to go right. And it looks like there's just a wall there. Unfortunately, I have to cast Doom Epic again to check. Yes, there's just a wall there. That would have been nice to know before. Okay, so it looks like the only thing in this dark area is if we go through this passage, it loops us over here to the elevator, which we can't use yet. And if we go through this door, there's a wizard who will send us back to the beginning. Now, it looks like from these side passages, we've explored all of the obvious doors. So if we were going to explore this area, what we would probably do is search for secret doors in here, and here, and possibly here, and possibly here. I'm not sure. The other option is to go over here and just start exploring the obvious doors on this side, which is me. I think I want to go over to this side and explore the obvious doors. Like these doors right here, we know these doors exist, we might as well go open them. We have to be careful because Filru just used 2 spell slots just to confirm the layout of this dark area, which is not a waste because it means in the future we'll always know what the layout of the dark area looks like. We didn't know that before, like for certain. Now we know for sure exactly what the dark area looks like. You want to check out the archive before you head to bed. If you're going to bed soon, let me know if you want me to create a character for you, and I will do it before the stream ends. I need to go here. Yes. Okay. We found our way back out. See, like I have a pretty good idea of how to navigate the dark zone. I could get in there and back out. I can go where I want to go in the dark zone. Like even though we can't see anything, I have mentally like internalized the layout of that area, and using Doom Epic helped with that a lot. Slimes, we can just spam attack on these guys. They're not very dangerous, and unfortunately, they don't really give a lot of experience. And they usually don't drop chests either. Yeah, 27 experience, that's nothing. Alright, so this door over here leads back to the entrance. Over here, these are the obvious doors that we have not opened yet. Specifically these 2. So I'm going to go here first. Interesting. Okay, this leads to a whole new passage. There's another door over here. And there's another door over here. Let's check this one. This is probably a treasure room. There's a good chance that if we defeat these monsters, they will drop a treasure chest. However, oh god, they surprised me. They're chipping us for 1 damage. Not too bad. When we have to worry is when we start, when we get access to the 2nd floor, we're going to start running into monsters who hit a lot harder. They can cast spells. They have a higher chance to hit us. There's just going to be a lot more things that can go wrong. Okay, here's going to be Yeti Man's first crossbow disarm, and he succeeded. And he got 80 gold, which is nice. Yeah, this is fine. This is a treasure room. So these rooms right here, these treasure rooms, they all have the same layout. Typically, whenever you open this door for the first time, after entering, like, once we go back to town and rest, and we come back into the dungeon, every time I open this door, it will spawn a monster and a treasure chest. This is the kind of place where I don't want to come back into later when we have more Doom Epic charges. So I'm not going to mess around with that area. So while we're here, we'll check this door. This is probably a treasure room as well. Yeah, there were some really funny moments near the start of the stream as well, so it's very much worth it to check out the archive. I'm going to run away from these slimes, just because I want to show off something really funny that we found out earlier. In this version of the game, in the remake, whenever you run away from enemies, it actually causes your characters to like run away, like Scooby-Doo style. Fortunately, we failed to run, but that's okay. We'll try again next turn. And because slimes give very little experience, it's probably worth it to just, like, it's not... Like, running away from them is fine because we're not losing a lot of experience. I think if you fail to run, it increases your chance to run on the next turn. I could be wrong about that. There we go. Okay. So watch what's going to happen. This is going to be really funny. Our characters are just going to, like, zoobity-doo out of there. They didn't go that far this time. Last time they went really far. That was not as funny as I thought it was going to be. Alright. Interesting that it didn't trigger another encounter. So in Wizardry 3, if you run away and then go back through the door again, it usually triggers a second, like an alternate encounter. So you can keep running away and going through the door again. It really helps with crawling kelp, because in Wizardry 3, crawling kelp take a while to kill, and they don't give very much experience. This is the stairs down. Overlord Trebor, you must test your mettle against many horrors before you are ready to venture deeper. Does that stop me, or can I still go down there if I want to? Ooh, let's take a peek at the second floor. I'm feeling bold. I'm feeling overconfident, perhaps. Let's take a peek at the second floor and see what's waiting for us down here. We've got a couple level 4 characters, a couple of level 3 characters. There's a chance that we can find a treasure chest on this floor with like a magic sword or something cool. So far I don't see anything. Let's head back. I'm not going to run down this really long passageway because there could be a bunch of wandering encounters on the way back. Oh, ethereal entities. They're probably undead, so we might be able to dispel them. Gas clouds. They are... I'm not sure if they're undead or not. Alright, let's start with our fighters attacking. Ulrich, I'm going to have him try to dispel and see if it works. Because Yeti Man's level 1, he's not very likely to have good hit rate against level 2 and level, like, higher enemies. So I'm just going to have him use Inspect. And then Filru can also Inspect. Passamon got a kill. Wow, okay, we just wiped out those gas clouds like nothing. We might be ready for floor 2 exploration. You got a good feeling? Is that a Final Fantasy Tactics reference? Ooh, we got a chest. We got a chest. Okay, this could be good. This could be really good. Alright, Yeti Man. It's up to you. Now, the scary thing is, traps scale with the floor of the dungeon. So the floor 2 traps are harder to identify, harder to disarm, and they're more dangerous. He feels certain that there's no trap. That kind of scares me, because I think there is a trap in here. I'm going to go for a stunner disarm, just in case if it is a stunner trap, maybe I disarm it. Okay, there was actually no trap there. We got 90 gold. Still no items. This is not the way back. This is an interesting door. We got the silver key already, so we can open these doors. Interesting. Yeah, because we got the silver key already, we can explore these doors on the second floor. I'm a little worried. I haven't found any treasure rooms yet in this floor. I thought there would be more. Like in the first floor, there's a lot of treasure rooms right near the start. Okay, these are a lot of like passages that lead to places we have not been before. This should be able to open with the bronze key. Yes. Anything good in here? No, no treasure rooms. It might just be wandering monsters on this floor. Oh! This is a big room. 3 more gas clouds. Okay, I didn't really get to check to see if they were undead or not, so I'm going to try to do the same thing as last time. I'm going to try Dispel. I'm going to try to identify them. It said Ulrich failed to Dispel, but I don't know if that means it's impossible. Ooh, yeah, they cast spells, so they hit a lot harder. You see Pizza just took 7 damage. So, like, on the first floor, the enemies were chipping us for, like, 1 or 2 damage, which is, like, you know, not really that dangerous. Here, the enemies are casting spells. They're hitting us for, like, 7 damage. You know, that's actually dangerous. Alright, let's head back. We've definitely explored far enough. I'm gonna cast, if I have a cast on Filru, I'm gonna cast Do My Pick. So this is what the floor 2 layout looks like that we know so far. It's a lot of passages, like a long winding passage over here, a door over here that leads to a passage. This door just leads to even more passages. This, I think, was the big room. I think this was the entrance to the big room. And then over here, there was like even more passages and more doors. So unlike floor 1, which was very focused on like rooms connected by passages, it looks like floor 2 is very based around like having wide, like long passages without really very many rooms connecting them. Faye says they just read about Murphy's Coast. I'm not going to read the rest of your message because I don't want to read spoilers. I'd rather figure it out for myself or look it up myself later if I want to. Alright, so we didn't... Oh no, so Ulrich is ready to level up, which is good. This is a good time to level up then. Alright, so I'm going to cast one more Doom Epic while I'm here so we can see... So this is all the information we got about floor 1 so far. It looks like there is one big area up here in the top left that we have not explored yet. So we need to come back and explore this area later with like a good, like maybe 1 or 2 good Doom Epic users. We can explore this top left area, see if there's anything we haven't found yet. And then Faye did remind me about Murphy's Ghost. Maybe we'll go back and fight Murphy's Ghost at some point in the future, especially if if we have a level 4 Ulrich, he might be able to just dispel Murphy's Ghost. If that's true, we could defeat it pretty easily. Other than that, I don't think there was anything else that we have not explored yet. So we have to explore this top left area, we have to deal with Murphy's Ghost, and then we have to go explore the second floor. Given how well this stream went, I did not expect this stream to go as well as it did. I seriously thought nobody would show up to this stream. Given that we actually had like an active stream, active chat, we had a ton of submitted characters, I feel pretty confident that I will do another Wizardry stream in the future. I mean, I would really love to do it again anyway, even if nobody showed up, but the fact that people actually showed up means that I could stream it again, and, you know, it wouldn't, yeah. I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say. Like, if nobody showed up, I would have to think pretty hard about whether I wanted to stream it again. Whether it would be worth it. But because I know that people might actually show up, I know for sure that it's worth it. Alright, so we've healed everybody back to full. We're gonna go back to the inn. It's not a big deal, Faye. I just don't specifically really want to be spoiled on things, especially like you saw what happened like earlier in the stream when like I walked through a one-way door by accident, and then at the end of that passageway was a teleporter, which led us to an area where we essentially got trapped in a hallway full of secret doors, and this hallway of secret doors led to a darkness area. Like, if people spoil me, like, moments like that are not going to happen, because if you just tell me like, hey, there's a teleporter at the end of this passageway, or if you tell me like, you know, fighting this enemy will cause this to happen, then I'm not gonna, like, those kind of random events we're not gonna have those like good random stories that arise from me going in like a lot more blind. And even though I have played the game before, it was a while ago, so I'm most like, this is gonna be pretty blind, especially anything past like the first few floors. I'm not gonna remember. All right, so we're gonna level up Ulrich. We're hoping for a good level up here. Got a great level up. 1 HP is not a big deal. Like, you will eventually get HP. Getting stats is really good. So we got a lot of stats. I'm very happy about that. And we got enough strength so that Ulrich can reclass into fighter. So at any point in the future, when I'm ready, we can reclass Ulrich into a fighter. He could be a central piece of our party. Yeti Man does not need to rest. Filru does need to rest. They need to recover their spell slots. Alright. I'm going to remove everyone from the party. We're going to go back to the training grounds, and we're going to inspect our roster. I'm going to sort by creation time. Go back to creation time. There you go. Alright, so I'm getting ready to end the stream soon. I'm going to go through and look at all the characters we created during the stream, and maybe just to do a fun little recap. So first of all, Backseat Greg was the character that I created before the stream started. He mostly just hung out in the guild and tried to backseat everybody else. And, honestly, he must have been doing a pretty good job because the party did pretty well. We only had technically 2 casualties, really only 1, if we can recover Burrito. Scar was created, and he immediately got himself killed by a crossbow trap. Silvara is one of our really good priests. She has very good long-term viability. In order to make her good long-term viable, I think it will be important to level up her strength to 11 so that we can reclass her into a fighter. If we can get her to that point, she will be very strong in the long term. Pizza was one of our first fighters created. He's a gnome. Gnome is a pretty good balanced class. He has good strength, good agility. His vitality is not the best, but he's done pretty good. The good thing about fighters is you just have to level them up and they get good. In fact, he's got 24 kills already. Let's look at the kills for our fighters. Yeah, this is a good way. If we're going to talk about the fighters, this is the best way to do it. Pizza, 24 kills. Big Boss, only 2 kills. That's because I'm pretty sure we only sent him on the first quest and then we benched him. We should probably give Big Boss another chance at some point in the future. Chris, 32 kills. Pretty epic. They're very close. Chris is our strongest fighter right now. They've got 18 strength and 18 vitality. They're also pretty close to getting level 5, which will be multi-attack. That'll be a massive power boost. Reg was our first mage. He is our best mage now, I'm still pretty sure. Yeah, in fact, no, he's not our only mage, but I'm pretty sure Reg is our best mage right now. The fact that he's a halfling means that we can reclass him into a thief later on, so we can make Reg long-term viable by having him be a utility spellcasting thief, unless Reg wants to just stay as a mage, in which case he'll just stay as a mage. Yeti Man, one of our good thieves. Interesting that Yeti Man never leveled up. He went on several quests. It's honestly pretty noteworthy to me that Yeti Man has been on several quests and he never leveled up. By the way, Big Boss got 2 kills. Chris got 32 kills. But yeah, Yeti Man went on 2 or 3 quests and he still never leveled up. That's very interesting. Passamon, 29 kills. And another very strong fighter. Passamon is very close to getting his level 5 multi-attack. Valen, another thief that... Man, our thieves... I think we rotated our thieves too much because most of our thieves are still level 1. And the only thief that we ever had level up is the one that got paralyzed. Abaddon was the replacement for Scar. Unfortunately, he only went on 1 quest. He didn't get any kills. His stats are okay. Yeah, Abaddon, he's an okay character. I'll say it, he's okay. Burrito, really good thief. They went on a fantastic run. They have a very good trap disarm and trap identification chance. They actually even got a kill with a sneak attack. Unfortunately, they did get that 5% chance to get hit by a stun trap, and we have no way to recover their paralysis yet. So for the time being, Burrito is just hanging out in the guild hall. Maybe we can help them recover in the future. Ulrich, Priest. Okay, so I think Dispel does not count as kills because Ulrich has definitely gotten several kills with Dispels. Unfortunate, I would be happy if I could see how many Dispels he's done, but it's okay. Ulrich is another one who has decent long-term viability. The dwarf stats are a little wonky for reclassing. It actually could arguably be better to just leave him as a priest. It's a pretty tough call, but we could potentially make him into a fighter later on. Splarfus, I created because some oak wanted me to create this character for him. Unfortunately, he never got a chance to go into the dungeon just because we have so many mages. Mavtato, oh yeah, Mavtato was great. They got the 29 point, less than 1% chance when you create a new character. there's a less than 1% chance to get a 29 stat point god roll, and we actually got that on Mavtato, so that's why their stats are incredible. They got 26 kills already. They started in the Samurai class, which is supposed to be an advanced class. We should definitely bring Mavtato off the bench when we come back eventually in the future. Pen was one of our mages. We started training them, but then we eventually just sent them back to the guild. Aurelius was one of our fighters that joined a little bit later. Now, Aurelius is interesting because they started with low stat points in the fighter class. Probably the best way to use her is to just keep leveling her up until eventually her stats get high enough that she's useful. There's not much else that we can do with her. Gargamax looks pretty similar. In fact, he's basically just like a better version of Aurelius, but we never used him. Aurelius got 9 kills. Pretty good. All of her stats are average. That's the thing. None of her stats are bad. They're just average. Filru is the one I'm kind of interested in training, mostly because I would like to reclass her into a fighter. I think she'd make a good fighter at some point in the future, but yeah, she's a mage right now, so she would make a good like utility like fighter mage. But honestly, it might be better to not multiclass too much and just keep at least like a few characters around. Rusty we created, so Rusty and Poyo we just created toward the end of the stream for the people who joined late, but we didn't get a chance to send them into the dungeon yet. Because it's after 9 o'clock already, and I want to eat something before I go to bed, I think I'm going to call it here. So thanks to everybody who came to the stream. I had a lot of fun. I'm really glad that I decided to stream this, because like I said, I wasn't sure if it was even going to go anywhere, but it definitely turned out way better than I thought. I really appreciate all the people who submitted characters on Reddit, on the community post, especially the chatters who were here to create characters to help give me input and advice, to just keep the chat active. The lurkers as well, you're great. Everybody who left a like is well appreciated. If you like old school dungeon crawlers like this, if you like Fire Emblem, especially, I've been playing a lot of Fire Emblem lately. If you like Pokemon, I do play different games. I don't just play like the same games all the time. I also make video essays about anime. So my channel is not just one thing. It's a lot of different stuff. Basically all of my nerdy hobbies. Anything, if I feel like talking about something, I'll just make a video about it. But yeah, if you enjoy any of that stuff, you can go ahead and subscribe. But I really have nothing else to say. So for now, enjoy the rest of your day.